we have players, that they are growing, they are improving, they are getting more mature, they are living the first experience in the Premier League, in the most tougher competition in Premier League. And again, I want to be honest with you and with the fans. Match the history of Chelsea today is impossible, and that is the truth. But with time, for sure, we will match, and that is my wish. That we are working for that. Maybe sometimes our fans they are not seeing what we are doing, but at the moment it's difficult because it's a go again of the general opinion. But I think we are doing a fantastic job, and of course I am so excited for the future because I think keeping the main group and adding maybe some good quality. Yes, for sure we will improve and keeping the same run that in the last 26, 27 games. I think keeping there, we are going to fight next season for sure for this season.
Mauricio Pochettino there looking ahead to Chelsea's trip to Brighton, live here on TalkSport 2 this evening. One of the questions, Scott Minzo, I want to put to Pochettino after this game is, would it be beneficial if sooner or later, and I'm thinking sooner, the owners come out and make it public that they are backing their manager, maybe even with the form of the new contract, because he's only got a year left on his current deal, and I don't think the silence is doing anybody any favours.
Can I come down with you when you ask that question? That's a very good question, Crookie. I have to say, I want to know the answer to that, and I think we kind of do. I think he's always been crying out for that for the last couple of weeks, hasn't he? It's like, I need that support. And I can tell you from a player's point of view, all the good pros will do what they need to do and train hard. But any ones who aren't or think, I'm not happy with this manager, they'll see that chink of a relationship between owner and manager and think, well, you're not going to be here next season, or you might not be, or you're certainly under pressure. So I might not quite give it. There's no doubt about it. And what he's done in the last few months going forward in terms of the league, and especially if they can finish top 6, absolutely he has to get the backing. And I agree with you, and another contract extension as well.
On the strains of Hey Jude on the stadium PA system will tell you the players aren't too far away from coming out of the tunnel, just a few yards below us here at the Amex Stadium. So time now for an odds update with William Hill.
In the zone on TalkSport 2 with official betting partner William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
And delighted to say Lee Phelps from William Hill joins us now. Lee, how are the odds looking for this game?
Yeah, well, Brighton are outsiders at 9-4. Chelsea 21-20. The draw 16-5. Interesting your conversation there about the that top 6 spot. The odds: Tottenham are 500 to 1 on to be top 6, which is fair enough. Newcastle 4-5. Chelsea 10-11, and Man United 33-1. I completely agree with what you guys have been saying. I mean, it's kind of like, it's almost remarkable. I don't know if it's as much about how great Chelsea have been, about how poor some of the other teams have been, but maybe a combination of both. But I'm a big believer in teams. All right, they might not have had the greatest of seasons, but if they finish strongly and they straddle the summer, you often see them starting strongly. And I think that's what the message is going to be to these Chelsea players, playing really well. And Brighton, of course, Zerbi was the chosen one, wasn't he? And all of a sudden, you look at their their form, it's not great at all. And I can see why Chelsea are favourites here. A couple of really interesting enhanced odds. Cole Palmer to score and Chelsea to win 2-0, 2-1 or 3-1. Was 11-2, now 13-2. And I really like this one. Nicholas Jackson's shot on target. It's just one shot on target, doesn't have to score. Nicholas Jackson's shot on target, Chelsea to win, both teams to score. That's been enhanced to 11-4. He's been in such good nick, hasn't he, the last few games. 5 goals in his last 3 games. And you look at the price for him to score first is 6-1. To score at any time is 29-20. I'd probably rather back Jackson to score at 29-20 than Chelsea just to win at 19-20. Now the price has been clipped in even further. So plenty of money for Chelsea. I'll go with Jackson to score, but I do like that. Jackson's shot on target, Chelsea to win, and both teams to score at 11-4.
Lee, thanks very much for joining us. That was today's odds update with William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
In the zone on TalkSport 2 with official betting partner William Hill, giving you the tools for positive play. Take time to think and know your limits. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Kickoff rapidly approaching here at the Amex over in Scotland. Celtic only need a point to wrap up the SPL title. They are off to an absolute flyer. 8 minutes on the clock, Kilmarnock 0, Celtic 1. Looks like it will be coronation night for the boys from Parkhead. We'll keep you updated with goals as they go in there. And indeed, over at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United against Newcastle. That gets underway at 8 o'clock live on TalkSport. And don't forget, TalkSport is your home for all of the big EFL playoff action. We've got both semi-finals, second legs coming up over the next 48 hours. Thursday night, Leeds against Norwich live from Ellen Road, and on Friday night at the sold-out St Mary's, it is Southampton against West Bromwich Albion. The EFL action doesn't stop there though. We've got the League One and the League Two playoff final this weekend, and of course the Championship playoff final, hot on the heels of the FA Cup final. In a week and a half's time, the two sets of players are out on the pitch here at the Amex. It's a glorious night in the heart of the Sussex Down for this penultimate game of the season for both these sides. A capacity crowd in situ. And Scott Minto, we should just touch on Brighton. They had a wonderful campaign last term under Roberto De Zerbi. Haven't quite hit those heights. They can still finish in the top half of the table. What have you made of their season?
Yeah, look, it's going to be interesting. Even if these last two games, they could finish 8th, they could finish 13th, but that's actually a lot of money, isn't it? In terms of what they can get for those placings. I always thought that they would struggle in the league after trying to combine the league and the Europa League as well, where I think they did very, very well, and obviously got kind of hammered against Roma, but you know, a battle-hardened side in European football. Listen, this is as good as it gets in Brighton's history. You know, anyone saying, oh well, they didn't quite do last year, they, you know, it's not a success. These are fantastic times for Brighton fans, and they need to get behind the team, get behind the manager. And yes, they have been on a bit of a bad run. The last couple of results and performances have been a lot better, but like any team, first 11, they're capable of giving anyone a struggle. You get a few of those players out, and they've had a lot throughout the whole of the season, then of course they're going to struggle a bit. I do sometimes wonder about De Zerbi's tactics, asking his almost goalkeeper and centre-backs to play like number 10s. Very difficult thing to do, but he's an exciting manager, it's an exciting team to watch, and you know, these are the good times.
Just seen a lovely embrace between Mauricio Pochettino, the Chelsea manager, and one of his former players at Southampton, Adam Lallana. Now at Brighton, announcing this week that he will be leaving the club when his contract expires at the end of the season. And there's a big hug as well between Pochettino and Roberto De Zerbi, his opposite number on the Brighton bench. You can see the respect that those two guys have for each other. Pochettino taking charge of his 50th Chelsea game this evening, and you can hear the boos as the Chelsea team was read out over the tannoy. There is a bit of an edge to this fixture, Scott Minto, because of the sheer volume of staff that have hot-footed it from the Amex to Chelsea, from Graham Potter to Moises Caicedo and Marc Cucurella, both in the team tonight. That will give Brighton extra incentive to stop Chelsea's European charge.
I think Tony Bloom and everyone connected with Brighton should thank Chelsea for the amount of money they've put into their coffers over the last couple of seasons. I have to say they've probably overpaid with quite a few, but there's no doubt about it, the job that Tony Bloom and everybody's done connected with Brighton is nothing short of sensational. Finding talent for next to nothing, selling them for a lot of money. Yeah, there's maybe a little bit of, not even rivalry, but competition in terms of that, but you know, maybe for these Brighton players, they want to impress, and who knows where they could then move on. But Brighton fans don't want to hear that. They want to hear just they're delighted to play for their club. They want to finish on a high and try and get into, if they can, as high a finish as possible.
Just a reminder of the headline team news for those of you just tuning in. Tarek Lamptey and João Pedro come in for Brighton to the side that drew 1-1 at Newcastle at the weekend. Joel Veltman and Danny Welbeck are the players who dropped to the bench for Chelsea. Malo Gusto comes in at the expense of Thiago Silva. That means Trevor Chalobah switches back to his more regular centre-back role, having played as a right-back in the 3-2 win over Forest. It means Brighton will have Verbruggen in goal, Lamptey, Webster, Duncan, Igor in front of him. Then come Gross and Gilmore, Buonanotte and Ciso and Adingra behind João Pedro up front. For Chelsea, Petrovic the goalkeeper, Gusto, Chalobah, Badiashile and Cucurella the back four, Gallagher and Caicedo in midfield, Madueke, Palmer and Mudryk behind the banging form. Nicholas Jackson up front. The booze will tell you that it is Chelsea, all in navy blue tonight, shooting from right to left in this first half on TalkSport 2. Get us underway. They were as low as 10 just 9 isn't yet out of the question. They could even pit Spurs to 5th place in the Premier League. Lots to play for at the business end of the campaign. Brighton, in their blue and white striped jerseys, blue shorts and blue socks, are attacking from left to right in this first half, and the ball is at the feet of the effervescent Pascal Gross down the right-hand side. He was clipped late by Gallagher, and the first free kick of the evening goes the way of Brighton, and I think he felt that one, Scott Minto.
Yeah, Conor Gallagher needs to be careful. Obviously, quite early on, you want to make yourself a physical presence, but he's missed the ball completely. I don't actually think he really caught Gross too much, but easily got a yellow card there, and that's the last thing you want to do in the first minute of the game.
Free kick for Brighton in their right-back position. Gross is standing over the ball. Straight away looks to launch it forward towards the likes of Enciso and João Pedro on the edge of that Chelsea area. The boozer for the mop-head Mark Cucurella, former Brighton Player of the Year, but didn't particularly endear himself to the home supporters the way he handled his departure from the club. £62 million they got for him from Chelsea.
Just the 1 year here as well, wasn't it? Okay, that's some profit.
Chelsea in possession deep inside their own half. The French international Badiashile carries it forward under bright blue skies overhead, not a cloud hovering.
Beautiful evening, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic evening. Whether you're playing football or
watching
in the pub garden
as we are. And the pitch looks in absolutely tip-top condition as well. Booze there for Caicedo, sporting a new bleached blonde haircut. You talk about profit. He cost Brighton £4.5 million. He played 53 games, and they sold him for 115 million. Not bad.
There's a common denominator there, isn't there? A club called Chelsea.
You can imagine that every time Tony Bloom got a phone call from Stamford Bridge, he answered it pretty rapidly, put it that way. And a lot of money for Graham Potter as well. All of the play at the moment inside the Chelsea half, away to our right. The Serbian Petrovic, all in green. He's just going to stroke the ball right-footed out to the left corner of the penalty area. Badiashile forward to Caicedo. Nibble touch from him, and he gets it back from Nicholas Jackson, and he then sprays it out to the right-hand side. The improving Madueke. Madueke into the penalty area, gets a left-footed shot away, and a good save down to his left by Verbruggen. Really swift attack that from Chelsea, and it was a crowded box. The goalkeeper did well to turn it behind for a...
Tell you what, that was such a well-worked move from back to front, and if that had gone in, that would have been one of the goals of the month for sure.
Celtic have got a second at Kilmarnock, 2-0 up inside 16 minutes, the champions in waiting. Chelsea have a corner here at the Amex, and it's going to be taken by Palmer from the left-hand side. Not his best delivery, aimed at the near post and headed clear by Enciso. Palmer will try again, right corner of the area, over on that far side of the pitch. Palmer running at Billy Gilmore, and then plays it to the edge of the area, and the blonde-haired Gallagher forward to Mudryk. Mudryk scoots away from one challenge and finds Cucurella in space. That would be ironic. Cucurella with a cross to the far post, and Nicholas Jackson has volleyed it clear. That's a brilliant piece of defending from the Chelsea centre forward.
You could see what he was trying to do, but actually Cole Palmer was coming round the back as well, and he should have been shouting, let it go. Quite clearly Nicholas Jackson was sticking his leg in the air. I think you or I would have pulled a hamstring putting our leg that high in the air, but Palmer just should have communicated a little bit better, because there's no way Jackson was able to bring that down.
Nicholas Jackson in tremendous recent form, 5 goals and 2 assists in his last 7 games. I did spot a quirky statistic about him as well. He's into double figures in terms of both goals and yellow cards this season. Only 2 players formerly in the Premier League have managed to do that. One of them is our own Charlie Adam, and the other is your former teammate Paolo Di Canio at West Ham.
Is that right? Shouldn't be surprised, really, should I?
A little bit surprised about Charlie Adam, but he does have a bit of feistiness, I guess.
Definitely not about Paolo.
5 minutes gone here on TalkSport 2. It's Brighton 0, Chelsea 0. Chelsea looking to potentially wrap up European qualification tonight. If they were to win and Manchester United were to lose, then effectively, because of the goal difference, top 7 would be guaranteed. United in action over on TalkSport against Newcastle's Cucurella. Much to the delight of the Brighton fans, is penalised for wrestling Lamptey to the ground. It's going to be a free kick in quite a promising position here for the home side. 10 yards in from the near touchline, around about midway inside Chelsea territory.
I'll tell you who else looks up for this as well. Roberto De Zerbi. He was right at the 4th official, not happy at all with that.
Gets a new pair of trainers every game, De Zerbi, because they are so bright and white, they can't possibly be worn.
Or he's got the best apprentice at the club who just polishes trainers really, really well. I know you're not allowed to do that anymore, are you?
Going back a few years there, Scott Minto. Free kick here for Brighton. Pascal Gross, who takes the majority of the set pieces, stands over the ball. Mauricio Pochettino is just doing a bit of defensive organisation. I think he's going to try and put this into around about the penalty spot. Gross, right-footed. Dunk is forward from the back, flicked on by João Pedro, and then headed behind by Chalobah. And Brighton have their first corner of the evening, and it remains 0-0.
That's a really good ball in, a flick on there, and it came at Trevor Chalobah very quickly. Wasn't able to get a proper header out, he just got a header back to the corner. And so the Brighton crowd are up for this as well. It's a great atmosphere.
It's a tremendous place to come and watch football, especially on a glorious spring evening like this. Corner is going to be taken from the Brighton left-hand side. Lewis Dunk, always a threat of these set pieces, come forward, so too is Adam Webster. I know feels like he should score more goals. The big, tall former Portsmouth centre-back towering above almost everybody inside that Chelsea box. Wearing number 4 on the back of his Brighton jersey. Dunk at the moment is positioned right in front of the goalkeeper. So too is Igor. In towards Webster and flicked goalwards and headed over the bar by Conor Gallagher, virtually from the goal line. That was a really well-worked set piece from Brighton, and it needed mopping up, and Gallagher was on hand to do that.
It certainly was. Read the situation really well. That's the problem. We've seen Nicholas Jackson let players go. There was Noni Madueke, and Gallagher's not only covered for him, but telling him, don't do that again. Set piece is so important.
Gross over the corner, right-hand side this time. Pressure mounting on the Chelsea goal. 8 minutes gone, 0-0 on TalkSport 2. Gross to whip this in, puts both arms in the air, the German. And there's a collision inside the area. Certainly, Brighton fans felt there was an infringement as Gross puts the loose ball back into the area. Bonanotte trying to make a nuisance of himself, and now Cole Palmer goes down, and the referee gives a free kick.
Well, he didn't go down immediately, Cole Palmer. When Bonanotte came at him, if he had have done, I'd have said, yeah, definite foul, but it's almost like Bonanotte got a little bit of the ball, then he went down because he realised the foot was high and would win the free kick. It's a clever play from Palmer. I'm not actually sure that was a foul, but a lot of wrestling going on in the box as that corner came in.
It's been quite a frenetic start to the game. Badiashile looking to release Mudryk. Webster back in his defensive position, goes down, no foul. Mudryk into the 6-yard box, and I think belatedly the referee did give a free kick. I'm not sure. There was great contact there between Mudryk and Webster. Did he just lose his footing, the Brighton centre-back? I don't think it's a foul.
Crookie, he slipped. He absolutely slipped. He hardly touched him. I'm really surprised that Mudryk's not had a go at the referee and said, I didn't do anything. That's a really poor decision.
And he stopped a really promising Chelsea attack.
He was through on goal. He was through on goal, and he also had Nicholas Jackson to pass to if he wanted to.
Lots of little off-the-ball incidents all over the pitch. Cole Palmer is right in the ear of the referee as a foul is awarded against Badiashile midway inside the Brighton half. Messrs. De Zerbi and Pochettino both stood arms in pockets down in front of us. We have a brilliant vantage point of the two dugouts here at the Amex Stadium. You can see every little emotion, and these two are not shy at showing their emotions during a game. In fact, if De Zerbi is booked tonight, that will be his 6th caution of the season. He will serve a touchline ban when Manchester United come here on the final day. Lewis Dunk, the Brighton captain, has possession 10 yards outside his own penalty area. It's gone back to Verbruggen, now the undisputed Seagulls #1. He was swapping positions with Jason Steele early in the season. And Ciso forward to João Pedro inside the centre circle. And João Pedro out to Lamptey on the right-hand side. Lamptey into the penalty area. Finds a Dingra who gets a shot away, deflected, could have gone anywhere. The goalkeeper was rooted, and in the end, it's behind for a goal kick. I think it must have come off one of his own teammates.
Well, I said a few minutes ago, if Chelsea had scored when it went from back to front, it would have been one of the goals of the month. This is very similar as well. Brilliant play from the back. Adam Webster, little first touch, which meant it beat the Chelsea press. They went down the right-hand side. Tariq Lamptey put the ball in. He took the touch of Dingra. Yeah, it looked like. I thought he took there was a deflection
there.
Went
through the legs, didn't it?
Went through the legs, but again, you're right. Petrovic was beaten, didn't move at all.
Brighton 0, Chelsea 0. 11 action-packed minutes so far, chances at both ends, and Simon Adingra not too far away from breaking the deadlock. Petrovic knew he wasn't going to get there, down to his right-hand side, and just stood on the goal line and hoped and prayed it went wide. Here's Gross now, Cucurella having given the ball away, and then has found Buonanotte. It's going to be a free kick here, probably just too far out for a shot for Brighton. Buonanotte has stayed down, but Cucurella is going to have to be careful. That wasn't a particularly good-looking challenge from behind.
No, it wasn't. What I've seen in recent games, Cucurella has been that fullback who's become inverted, almost like the extra midfielder, but the ball was overplayed to him. He was overexcited and trying to win the ball back, but I tell you what, the fourth official down here, if he hasn't got De Zerbi on him, he's got Pochettino on him. He needs to be double paid tonight.
It must feel like a marriage guidance counsellor in between a warring husband and wife. Two very volatile partners as well. Cucurella is being beckoned over to the touchline. I think he may be in need of a little bit of treatment. He's now in the ear of the fourth official. He's got to be careful, Cucurella. You can't come across and start screaming at the fourth official. He's got a wound on his face, which is why he's being treated. There wasn't much respect there shown by the Spaniard. Here's Gross with the free kick. Chelsea a little short-handed as Cucurella is off the pitch. Nodded down by Igor, but Chelsea have cleared it away. Picked up by Adingra in the left wing position. Adingra trying to beat Madueke, who stood tall there and wrestles possession back for Chelsea. He's been in really good form, Madueke, in the last few weeks, but he's given the ball away there to Pascal Gross on halfway, and Brighton will look to spring the counter. Chelsea is still down to 10. Cucurella being treated in front of us. Here's Mudryk though, inside the centre circle, running at Lamptey, and then cutting inside on his right foot. He's made his way to the edge of the area, Mudryk. Lays it off for Cole Palmer, and his left-footed shot straight into the arms of Verbruggen. And it stays Brighton 0, Chelsea 0.
Good play from Jackson, just laying the ball off with two people around him. Mudryk coming inside. He's not really, he's quick as anything, but I think he's going to beat Lamptey for pace, but laid the ball to Cole Palmer, straight at the keeper there, but Crookie, we got a game in our hands. These are two teams really going for it. That's brilliant. I'm knackered just watching.
And if Cucurella doesn't get a yellow card over the course of the evening, I would be amazed. He is properly fired up, back on his old stomping ground. He's back on the pitch now as well, so Chelsea have their full quota of 11. They've only won 2 of the last 8 Premier League meetings between these two. In fact, their last win here was on the first day of the 2020-21 season when Frank Lampard was the manager.
First time round.
Absolutely. They've had a few since then, haven't they? Will they have another for the start of next season?
No, I hope not. I hope they realise the job that Pochettino's been doing now. He's slowly turning around the Titanic.
Here's Conor Gallagher, his future very much up in the air as well. No sign, last time I checked in, of a new contract for him. They only have a year left come the end of this season. Here's Cole Palmer trying to scoot away from Pascal Gross. He's won a free kick right in front of Roberto De Zerbi.
He's deceptive, isn't he? He's not quick, but people can't seem to catch him when he runs with the ball. He's so clever, his little body swerve, very left-footed, but happy to go either way. He's just got that sort of little stride, which means that people can't get close to him.
Oh, ball played forward to Nicholas Jackson, and he's rounded the goalkeeper, but he's taken it too wide. They took the free kick quickly, and Brighton's defence were caught napping. Should have done better, Jackson. And Adingra here, inside the area, will look to clear it away. Is it his first touch there that let him down?
Absolutely, too heavy.
Here comes Caicedo, right wing position. Igor with a sliding tackle, concedes the corner and gets a big roar of approval from those Brighton fans behind Verbruggen's goal. Not sure he got a lot of the ball, to be honest, Igor. And he was actually carried off the pitch by Caicedo. It's not a corner, it probably should have been a free kick.
Yeah, there was a big round of applause, wasn't it? I think there's an extra one if Caicedo or Cucurella get tackled tonight, but
did he have the bleached blonde hair at Forest, or has he got that just for his return to the Amex, Caicedo?
I don't remember him having that last week.
He's not exactly trying to be inconspicuous, is he, with that? Palmer with the ball whipped in from the corner. Good delivery. Jackson was lurking, and Lewis Dunk heads it away from under his own crossbar. Chances keep coming here at the Amex. 0-0 on TalkSport 2 though. Cucurella into the box. Buonanotte goes diving in, and the referee gives a penalty. Well, it was a clumsily timed challenge from Buonanotte. Cucurella having got the wrong side. He's praying with the referee to have a second look, but it looked pretty clear to me, Scott Minto, on first viewing. Oh, did he get a bit of the ball?
Well, I'll tell you what, first of all, you don't make a challenge like that. It's definitely a winger's tackle. He's got the man first, then the ball, but he's brought him down. So he did get a touch of the ball. I still feel that Cucurella could have carried on if he hadn't have been brought down himself. So therefore, it's a penalty.
Well, VAR are having a double check on this. Buonanotte immediately put his hands together in a praying motion. I guess the decision that they have to make here at Stockley Park and the on-field referee is, did he get enough of the ball for this to be overturned? Roberto De Zerbi looks pretty resigned to his fate, but the referee is going to come and have a look at the monitor, and that usually means there could be a change incoming. Scott Minto.
Yeah, and especially the way it's gone now, where the VAR trying not to get involved too much. There's no doubt about it. He's going to overturn this.
Michael Salisbury is taking a long look at the monitor.
Look, at first glance, I thought he's got the man and then the ball. And for me, that is a foul, but you cannot doubt he does get a bit of the ball and it deflects away.
Well, my initial instinct was penalty. Having seen the replay, I think he does get enough of the ball, and I think there's maybe a suggestion that Cucurella is looking for the contact. Does he throw himself to the ground?
No, I don't think he does, but I think you are right. Looking at replays of it now, as I say, I'd be surprised the referee doesn't overturn it.
And he is going to overturn it. No penalty, says Michael Salisbury, much to the joy of the Brighton fans. It's ironic, isn't it? On the day that Wolverhampton Wanderers have submitted a proposal for the Premier League to scrap VAR, I think that's an example of the technology working as it should do.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, once we were able to see the replays, I still feel there's a little bit of a touch in Cucurella, then he gets a bit of the ball, and then he brings Cucurella down, but I can understand why that's overturned. Pochettino's not happy at all.
Well, it's interesting, Roberto De Zerbi's just come out to have a word with Buonanotte, and I think he's saying to him, you've got a little bit lucky.
Yeah.
Don't get wrong side again, son.
And do you know what? He probably has said son in his Italian accent as well.
He called him his son in the week.
You don't make a tackle like that. That's the first thing. It's a winger's tackle. You know, maybe a slight little nudge, but don't go to ground. He did get away with that one, but to be fair, I think he's got enough of a touch, and from a defensive point of view, which is where I'm coming from, I'd be disappointed if that was given as a penalty against me.
19 minutes gone. It stays Brighton 0, Chelsea 0. They've just kicked off over on TalkSport. Manchester United against Newcastle. Celtic 2-0 up at Kilmarnock. They're going to be crowned Scottish champions tonight. For Chelsea, it's all about securing European football. For Brighton, their aim is to finish in the top half of the table once again. I think given all the injuries, given Europe, they'll take that. Here's Billy Gilmore raiding down the left-hand side for Brighton. He tried to slide it forward to Adingra, but it's intercepted by Gallagher, and Gallagher plays it forward towards the halfway line. Gusto in an advanced position, looking to pick out Jackson. He couldn't, and they've launched it forward, Brighton. And João Pedro penalised for a foul on Petrovic. Goalkeeper just got himself in a bit of a wrong position there, and I think he was very grateful that João Pedro led with the arm.
Yeah, look, it was a foul, but that's what you want your centre forward to do, get stuck in, and even if you can't quite win the ball, just make yourself physical. Let the goalkeeper and the defence know that you're going to be in the battle this evening, and that's what Brighton are doing.
How pumped up are these Brighton fans, by the way? Every time there's a Chelsea mistake or a mistimed tackle, a huge roar goes up around the Amex.
Double as well if it's Caicedo or Cucurella, isn't it?
Still can't get over the blonde hair. Just keep your head down. Just keep your head down.
I don't mind that, but it does put pressure on yourself. Say, right, you've got to play well now.
He has found form, hasn't he, Caicedo, as the season has gone on. It's been a difficult transfer following that British record move in the summer. You could argue that he's benefited from playing alongside Conor Gallagher as opposed to Enzo Fernandez. That partnership didn't really gel. And it's a problem because they spent so much money on the two of them.
I'm telling you, it's a big problem. There's no doubt about it. Just in the last 3 games, more than that actually. Since that Arsenal defeat, they've looked a lot better. And obviously, Enzo Fernandez has been out for the last 3 or 4 with that groin injury, groin surgery.
Yeah, he won't play again this season. Chelsea with just one more match after this at home to Bournemouth on Sunday. We'll be live at Arsenal to see if they can produce a final day miracle and wrestle the title away from Manchester City, but full coverage from all of the other final day fixtures as well. European places still to be decided. Chelsea right in the mix after their recent revival. Lewis Dunk with the ball, scooped over the top. And it's an important header from Gusto because Adingra was ready to nip in there, but he nodded the ball, Gusto, back to his keeper, Petrovic, and he bowls it out to the right-hand side. It stays 0-0.
Really good defending from Gusto. That ball over the top, when you're running on, you know the wing is behind you. You've got to try and head it back to the goalkeeper, but you've got to get it bang on, otherwise it could easily be an own goal, or if it's too short, the winger will get in. Really good play that from Gusto, really good defending.
So the views of Scott Minto, former FA Cup winner with Chelsea, and we're going to be at the FA Cup final, live from Wembley, a week on Saturday. The second season in a row, it's an all-Manchester affair. City against United. City heavy favourites to retain the cup. Anything other than a tonking is a bonus if you're a Manchester United fan, to be honest. Here's Gallagher chipping it forward to Kukureya, who's got some space to move over the halfway line. The boos go up again around the Amex, and Adam Webster with the initially well-timed tackle to dispossess Mudryk, but was a bit overzealous with the second one as Mudryk picked up the loose ball, and it will be a free kick for Chelsea. They've taken quickly on halfway. Goalless as we reach the midway point of the first half. Still 0-0 over on Talk Sport. Manchester United against Newcastle. Chelsea fans who have travelled in number down to Sussex this evening, they'll be keeping a close ear on that one. If United lose and they win, and that's all wrapped up for next season, which looked very unlikely only a few weeks ago. Throw in for Brighton over on the far side. Cole Palmer just running the ball out of play. We've just got a shot on our monitor of Thiago Silva leaning back in his seat in the back row of the dugout. Reece James to his left. Thiago Silva will play his final Chelsea game against Bournemouth on Sunday. After 153 appearances over 4 seasons, a real fan's favourite amongst the Blues contingent.
Class player. Class player.
Celtic have gone 3-0 up at Kilmarnock. If Rangers were hoping for any favours there, that hope has dissipated. Celtic will be Scottish champions once again. And there was a really good debate actually on Talk Sport as I was driving back from Manchester on Monday about the gap between Celtic and Rangers. Graham Souness got very heated about that.
Didn't sharpen his studs, did he?
I was a bit worried if Jim White would get out of the studio alive at one point, to be honest. Graham back on Monday, reacting to all the final day Premier League action as Lamptey comes forward down the right-hand side for Brighton. His cross is intercepted by Gallagher, but Lamptey will have another go. The former Chelsea Academy product down by the right corner flag, and he overcooked that pass for Webster. Luckily, Lewis Dunk was mopping up for Brighton, and Chelsea can't take full advantage of that. Roberto De Zerbi just asking for a bit more intensity from his team. As Dunk has possession inside the centre circle. Goalless here at the Amex. Lamptey running at Kukureya. Standing up across towards Enciso with a header over the top of the crossbar. And the cross maybe lacked a little bit of power. And as a result of that, it was never seriously troubling Petrovic, but he does try and whip up the Brighton fans as the ball goes wide.
Yeah, Zerbi wanted a bit more intensity, but I was actually just thinking after what was a very good start from Chelsea that Brighton have come back into this game and haven't really conceded too many chances recently since that penalty decision that was overturned.
And Chilwell being sent out to warm up for the first time. It's currently Brighton 0, Chelsea 0. For the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of TalkSport 2's Premier League coverage. And right now you can back Brighton to win it 2-1. Chelsea are 11-10 for the win. The draw is 14-5. That's all thanks to William Hill. Get epic value all season, 18+. BeGambleAware.org. Madueke on the attack for Chelsea into the penalty. That's a good challenge by Igor. Timed it to perfection. And then releases Adingra down the left-hand side. Infield for Buonanotte. much relieved man inside the Amex, having initially been adjudged to have given away a penalty. That decision overturned after Michael Salisbury, the referee, was called over to the VAR screen. That's the biggest talking point of the first half. It's still goalless. Here's Gallagher on the halfway line, the Chelsea captain. Forward to Palmer. Palmer finds Mudryk, who had room to turn, but he didn't bring the ball under control, and Lewis Dunk gets it away, but only momentarily. Here's Gusto, 10 yards outside the area. He's going to shoot right-footed, and that's a wonderful save from Verbruggen, backtracking, and he stuck out a big left arm and managed to push the shot from Gusto over the top of the bar and behind for a corner.
Now, that's a really good save. Excellent shot. That's dipping. I mean, if there's a yard either side of Verbruggen, I don't think it'd have got anywhere near it. In fact, there's a deflection from the shot from Malagusto. But why not have a go from there? 25 yards out, it's got the deflection, that's why it's got the dip. And he's got to use a very strong hand to tip it over.
Palmer with a corner, looping one into the area, but over the head of everybody in dark blue. And Lewis Dunk, the Brighton skipper, plays it forward to Gross, who's immediately sandwiched between his two former teammates, Cucurella and Caicedo. Happy Gross in the end to settle on the throw-in, level with the penalty area, away to our left-hand side. The floodlights just spring into action around the Amex. Not sure they're totally needed yet, but
It's not a cloud in the
can be
sky.
deceptive. Tony Bloom, the Brighton owner, in his navy blue suit, watching on. What a wonderful custodian he's been for this football club. It's Tarek Lamptey in the right back position, drops the shoulder, gets away from Mudryk, but then passes it straight to Cucurella, who can't keep it. And Gross will come forward for Brighton, sprays it out for the left-hand side, and Enciso looking for João Pedro, who's just off balance as he tried to collect the pass, and that allows Chelsea to regain possession once more.
Yeah, it was actually a really good play from Enciso. First of all, just shaping to go outside, then come inside. But it's happened 3 or 4 times now. You can see that De Zerbi probably wants, and practices in training, the balls to be zipped into each other really fast. The problem with that is if it's not inch perfect, someone's running one way and it's just a couple of inches away, they're not able to get there. There's no doubt about it, the football that De Zerbi plays, I like watching his teams play, I really do. And I think he'd be, I don't know, you know, what he said, and there was a lot of maybe people saying that would put owners off. I just think from a football point of view, if he played with real top class players, and again, with the greatest respect to Brighton, he's certainly improving these players.
Lovely play over on the right-hand side by Jackson. Speaking of improving players, he's skipped away from Adingra, and then he's been bundled over on the edge of the penalty area. And the referee, Salisbury, is going to show the first yellow card of the evening. And it goes to the Brighton captain, Lewis Dunk. He just got the wrong side of Jackson, maybe a bit too enthusiastic. And then he just tugged his shirt. And it's going to be a free kick and a booking for Dunk.
Well, it's clumsy probably more than anything else. He just kind of, Nicholas Jackson, he did him on the turn and then he got in front of him, and it's almost as if like he didn't want to let him go, but just pushed him down a little bit. It was enough with him running at that pace to bring him down, and dangerous position, probably was a yellow card, but more clumsy than anything else.
Palmer and Gallagher, the two Chelsea players, stood over the ball, arguably their two standout performers of the season. Half an hour gone, 0-0. But this is an opportunity to test Verbruggen, who's made a couple of good saves already. It's what, 7 yards outside the area, to the right of centre. Will it be Palmer cutting in on his left foot, or Gallagher to try and whip it towards the far corner with his right? It is Palmer into the wall, comes back to Palmer, and his follow-up effort is blocked again. And then the ball stabbed upfield by Adingra for João Pedro to chase, and Malagusto puts it into the top row of the lower tier over on the far side. You're listening to Brighton against Chelsea on TalkSport 2 with Now. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action, like Manchester United against Newcastle, live tonight, contract free with a Now Sports membership. Search Now Sports.
Well, he's been sensational this season, Cole Palmer, isn't he? But today he's not able to get into the game, and the odd set pieces that he has had, it's not come with a quality we're used to having from him.
Oh, that's great hold-up play by João Pedro. Back to goal, inside the centre circle, played it out to Lamptey on the right-hand side. Really imposing from the former Watford man. And then Buonanotte almost turns away from himself, much to Deserby's frustration, but he's played a 1-2 with João Pedro on the edge of the area. Adingra with a shot, scooped towards the top corner. It's wide, and it stays 0-0, and there's a problem here. Lewis Dunk, the Brighton captain, is down inside the centre circle. Effort from Adingra over the top of the bar as Dunk is treated. Here's Scott Minto.
Yeah, really good play, you have to say, from Buonanotte. And as he took the ball, he shaped to come back, and Deserby just on the touchline, in disgust, looking at his bench, and suddenly, before he turned back, he'd seen that Buonanotte had actually come back inside, turned again, played a lovely little 1-2, and laid it nicely for Adingra, who got to hit the target from there. It's first time shot, just left centre, 18 yards out on his right foot. You're looking to curl it. As I say, you've got to hit the target. Petrovic just watching it go over. But good play, you have to say, from Buonanotte.
I wonder if Lewis Dunk has injured himself in that challenge for which he picked up a yellow card on Nicholas Jackson. Looks like it's, what, a groin issue potentially, Scott?
Yeah, it's physio's kind of covering what he's doing, but it's certainly not lower than the knee.
Well, this is bad news for Lewis Dunk, because, of course, Gareth Southgate is due to name his 30-man training squad in preparation for the European Championships. He didn't have the greatest of nights when he was last in an England shirt against Belgium at Wembley, but Lewis Dunk, I think, still harbouring hopes that he'll get a seat on the plane for Germany, but it looks like he might have to go off here, and Carlos Baleba is being ready to come on. Lewis Dunk gets a standing ovation from the Brighton fans. He is sprinting off.
Yeah, he's jogging off. I won't be surprised if he goes back on again.
Baleba is stripped and ready for action, but I think Lewis Dunk wants to continue.
He's turned around again and he's looking, facing play. He wants to go on, he wants to give it another go for sure.
So still Brighton 0, Chelsea 0. Don't forget, after us, you can have your say on national radio. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy over on Talk Sport. We'll be taking your calls on the Sports Bar. 03717 22 3344 is the number. That's the Sports Bar from 10 p.m. Those two were in jovial mood last night in the watch along alongside Perry Groves as Tottenham lost at home to Manchester City to hand City the advantage over Arsenal in the title race. I'm sure they'll be a bit better behaved tonight. I'm not actually, but tune in at 10 o'clock to find out.
Jamie taking his City shirt off, yeah?
That was unbelievable. Here's Cole Palmer for Chelsea. Dunk will continue for now. Into Mudryk. 15 yards outside the penalty area. Gallagher forward to Cucurella. Cucurella looking to cut the cross back. Palmer with the header. That is another ice cold finish from ice cold Cole Palmer. It's his 25th goal of the season, his 22nd in the Premier League. It is an absolutely beautiful header, and it moves Chelsea a step closer to European qualification. Brighton 0, Chelsea 1.
Well, he talked about how quiet he's been in the game, and even with set pieces, been poor by his usual high standards. The right place, right time, and that's a really difficult header to beat for him from there, because, well, first of all, you have to say, really good play from Cucurella, who's gone inside to the byline. He's cut the ball back, and Cole Palmer is not even in line with the near post, so he's having to sort of direct it from where it's coming over the goalkeeper towards the far post. That's a really clever header, you have to say. Brilliant goal.
Super finish from a super player, and Chelsea have the advantage, not just here, but in the race for European football. And Palmer there, having spotted Verbruggen off his line. Well, he tried a David Beckham, left-footed, got it all wrong, and Verbruggen able to pluck it from the air just to the right of his near post. 1-0 Chelsea, 10 minutes to go until half-time.
You can do that after you just scored. You can give it a go, give it a David Beckham.
Cole Palmer, the third youngest player in Premier League history to score 20 goals in a single season, behind Robbie Fowler and Harry Kane, the first Chelsea player to score 20 Premier League goals since Diego Costa back in 2017. He has been the beacon of light during what's been a dark spell at times, but this would be 4 wins on the spin for Chelsea.
He absolutely should be he is one of the players of the season. Talked about that sometimes toxic atmosphere. How hard it's been for all these new players playing in a Chelsea shirt, how heavy that shirt has weighed. And yet he's come in and he's looked like he's an absolute, first of all, senior pro, but world-class player, able to handle anything that's thrown at him. 22 league goals and 10 assists, that's incredible.
Here's Cucurella. Those boos won't be resonating quite so loudly now, having picked up the assist. Mudryk, meanwhile, has gone down off the ball and is still down holding his face. Play at the moment will continue. The referee, Michael Salisbury, stops play, much to the frustration of the Brighton supporters. And it does look like a head injury. We'll have to see a replay to find out exactly what caused that.
Yeah, again, the two benches. We can talk about the managers here, but the staff. There's a lot of passion in this game. Both teams really up for it. Really enjoying watching it.
João Pedro is having quite an animated conversation with one of Roberto De Zerbi's backroom staff.
What happened was the ball was played into the midfield from Cucurella, and Tariq Lamptey got close to him. I think he probably has caught him, but it didn't look to be as bad as the way he's kind of making out. But you never know, it's a head injury, you've got to be careful.
You're listening to Brighton against Chelsea on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, they've got a van. Still a long delay here as Mudryk is being treated. We've just seen a replay. It was an incident, I think, with Tariq Lamptey, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think at the moment, if you watch the pictures, he's laying motionless, and I think that's just because the physio's telling him to. He's got into his shoulder. I think that's what it is.
Half-time over in Scotland. So far, so very good for Celtic. Kilmarnock 0, Celtic 3. Celtic needing only a point to wrap up the table after their Old Firm derby win at the weekend, but they are going to do it in style. Here at the Amex, it's Brighton 0, Chelsea 1, with 7.5 minutes plus added time to play over on TalkSport. They get underway at 8 o'clock. It's Manchester United 0, Newcastle 0.
You know, that's 32 league assists now, or league involvements, goal involvements that Cole Palmer has had. 22 goals, 10 assists. I think that's right up there with, alongside Ollie Watkins, as the most in the Premier League this season. What a season he has had in this young lad.
There seems to be a bit of an incident in the stands here, over in the far corner. I wonder if some Chelsea supporters have infiltrated the home end of the ground. Stewards dealing with that. Everybody on their feet trying to sneak a peek. Meanwhile, Mudryk is back on his feet, but still looks a little groggy as we watch a replay of what was a real improvised finish from Cole Palmer. He scores goals of all shapes and sizes, and he left foot, right foot, long range, penalties, and now he's adding headers to his repertoire as well.
Well, if you can get 5 headers a season, added to what he does, as you say, long range, short range, penalties, left foot strikes, then wow, he'll have a bit of everything. Really clever header, directing, he uses the pace of the cross. So he's kind of in line with the 6-yard box, the vertical side. So he had to, couldn't put too much on it, just direct it over the keeper, going to the far post. Exactly what he did. Brilliant header.
Getting more and more messages throughout the evening from rival Premier League clubs suggesting that Wolverhampton Wanderers aren't going to get the support that maybe they expected in their bid to get VAR thrown out next season. For those of you just tuning in, that was the big breaking news around about 5:30 this evening, that Wolves had submitted a proposal to the Premier League to scrap VAR. In order for that to happen, if it went to a vote, they would need 14 clubs to vote in favour. I think what it will do is maybe sharpen the focus and work out how the technology can be used to better effect. We've seen it already tonight, chalking off a penalty for Chelsea that was initially given. Here's Tariq Lamptey trying to take on Cucurella. He goes down in the area. Brighton fans want a penalty. In fairness, there's no real appeal from Lamptey. It will be a goal kick for Chelsea, who lead 1-0.
Good battle with those two, though, I have to say. And Tariq Lamptey, he kind of lost a little bit of control of the ball, but because of his pace and his low centre of gravity, was still able to to try and get there, and Cucurella didn't get anywhere near the ball. He did kind of barge into him. And Brighton fans think that was a penalty. It wasn't. It's a good decision in the end, but again, good battle.
He's actually having a good game, isn't he, Cucurella, despite all the heckling that is coming his way.
There's no doubt you're up for it. Just that little bit more when you're
Well,
up
I guess it goes
offside.
one way or another, doesn't it? You either go hiding and don't want the ball, or you want to prove a point. I think Cucurella certainly is doing the latter.
No, you want to prove a point for sure. Absolutely. And to be fair to him, he's come into it a lot more, hasn't he? You know, this whole season, let alone the last few months.
Christopher Nkunku is being readied by Chelsea to replace the Erling Mudryk as we move into the last 4 minutes of the first half. Nkunku's had a injury hit season since his big money move from RB Leipzig. Gusto plays the ball against Enciso over on the far side and wins a throw for Chelsea midway inside his own half. Nkunku just getting his final instructions from Mauricio Pochettino. Disappointing for Mudryk, having found a little bit of form and scored that goal at Forest at the weekend.
Yeah, I think he's done well in recent months. Again, he's another of the new players that really found it hard to justify the price tag, and have just come more and more into it, and next season will be much more experienced, 1 year older, 1 year wiser. And I think he's put in some decent performances over the last half a dozen games.
Nkunku's only played 9 games for Chelsea this season. Both the goals he scored in the Premier League have come as substitute. They're going to be hoping that he can stay fit and justify that £50-odd million price tag next season.
Well, he's another one, Crookie, that, you know, it's almost like a new signing because he's hardly ever played this season. Him and Jackson in pre-season look really, really good together.
We've got Romeo Lavia as well, who fits into that category, having barely kicked a ball in anger this season. Was it 2 substitute appearances, I think, since he joined from Southampton? The future looks brighter for Chelsea. I mean, it's been a difficult path in many ways. You can question the business model. I think you have to give Pochettino plaudits. There's a lot of Chelsea fans who maybe will still hold his Tottenham links against him, but he has improved this group of players over the course of the season. João Pedro bearing down the area, but well defended by Badia's shield, diving header back to his own goalkeeper. And you know you're going to get that from Pochettino. I saw it at first hand at Southampton. He did it at Tottenham as well. Ask yourself why Dele Alli played the best football of his career under the Argentine. He is a training ground manager. He's a player's manager, Pochettino.
No, he is. I think he needs to stop being so nice, though, to everybody.
What's wrong with being nice? I love a Pochettino hug. Here's Madueke into the penalty area. Gusto with a cutback. Deflected effort by Palmer. He's gone behind for a corner. Could have gone absolutely anywhere off Lewis Dunk.
He loves your bear hugs too, by the way, but really good play from Chelsea down the right-hand side. And again, Cole Palmer, he's so clever in the way he finds space in the box. Now, we saw Cucurella take the cross, and it came to him to score the goal. And there, down the right-hand side, Malagusto's just looked up, seen Palmer. Good defending in the end, getting that deflection.
Chelsea have their 4th corner. They're looking to double their 1-0 lead before half-time. Whipped in by Palmer. There's a couple of times from that far side on the right that his delivery from the corner has not been quite up to his usual standard. Hard to criticise him too much, bearing in mind his header separates the teams, Cole Palmer, but no, he'll be annoyed with himself.
He's not had a good game, but he has scored a very good goal. So you can't differentiate the two. Where you're sort of expecting him to start to dominate tonight, he hasn't done that at all, and even, as you say, those set pieces.
Palmer looking to release Jackson. Nkunku was almost playing as a secondary striker there alongside Jackson.
But he has done the most important thing tonight.
Yeah, put the ball on the net. Palmer. Chelsea lead 1-0, 0-0 over on Talk Sport. That isn't the worst result in the world for Chelsea in terms of European qualification. Manchester United against Newcastle. Jackson fouling Adam Webster in the right-back position. Not seen too much of a response from Brighton since they fell behind.
No, not really. I think they're struggling to really break this Chelsea side down. At times they have had possession, but Lamptey's gone down the right-hand side and tried to whip some balls in, but no, they haven't really looked too dangerous.
It's a good diagonal ball from Dunk, though, looking to exploit the pace of a Dingra. He does well to play it against Gusto. And out for a throw. We got 9 added minutes at the end of the first half here on Talk Sport 2. Brighton 0, Chelsea 1. excessive. We didn't have that VAR check. We had the injury for Mudryk. Lewis Dunk went down, but I'm not sure it amounts to 9 minutes.
I'm not so sure either. What I also say is that 45 minutes have flown by.
Yeah, it's been a really entertaining spectacle. Chelsea coming out on top at the moment. That's well played by Enciso, knocking the ball away from Gallagher into João Pedro. Adingra now, can he get a shot away right across the face of goal? The offside flag's going to go off anyway against the Ivorian, and it will be a free kick for Chelsea, and they'll stay 1-0 in front.
Well, we just talked about how they've not really looked dangerous in the final third, but that was good play. Enciso picking up the ball, playing a little, wanting to play a little 1-2, but Adingra should be looking across the line. He's got to stay onside there. Nothing came of it anyway, but as I say, you're that winger, you can see everything there. You can see when he's going to make the pass, you can see across the line, he shouldn't be offside.
Well, if Chelsea were to win tonight, it would continue their recent revival, 26 points from the last 39 available, although they passed their way into trouble here. João Pedro in the penalty area, shot from Kroos. It's a brilliant block by Chalobah, really getting his teammates out of trouble. And Buonanotte goes to ground under the challenge from Nkunku, and Brighton have a free kick that they're taking quickly. Yeah, 26 points from the last 39 available for Chelsea. Only the top three in the league have taken more in that period. They lead 1-0 here at the Amex. De Zerbi frustrated as Brighton squandered possession cheaply in his eyes again, and here's Nkunku. Set away down the left-hand side and runs into the challenge from Webster, wins a free kick, and Webster quickly escapes the scene, I think, to avoid a yellow card.
He's gone into the pack, hasn't he? So the ref can't see him. He didn't really need to dive in there. Nkunku's held the ball up. He's coming inside, kind of away from goal and on the touchline. Don't need to dive in there. Dangerous position just before half-time.
Cucurella, having got one assist already on his return to the Amex, and Conor Gallagher, the Chelsea captain, stand over the ball. In fact, Cole Palmer now has come to join Gallagher. Cucurella has made his way into the penalty area.
I wonder if Conor Gallagher just said, look, not quite happening set pieces, Cole. Let me take this one.
Palmer, whose goal separates the two teams. Conor Gallagher looking to pull rank perhaps in the yellow footwear. Palmer has come over to have a chat with Thiago Silva out warming up. Maybe a bit of instruction being relayed by the veteran Brazilian. We've played 3 of the 9 added minutes. Gallagher floats it in right-footed, headed away by Lamptey, and then Buonanotte turns it forward to Adingra. Cucurella quickly there to win it back for Chelsea, and then a lovely ball with the instep from Palmer, cushioned down to the edge of the area and in towards Jackson. And there's the second for Chelsea. In fact, the whistle has already blown. Nicholas Jackson looks perplexed. I don't see a flag on that far side. So it's not offside.
It didn't go up.
Is the referee given a foul here by Jackson? Did he just nudge the Brighton defender out the way as he went to head the ball?
I think that's what he's given, but it also looks like he's just saying wait. And the cross came in and he's at the far post, and I think as the ball comes in first time, I wonder whether he might be offside anyway.
I think he is offside.
The flag didn't go up though, did it?
Did he just nudge Lamptey to give himself a bit of room? A good cushion header down initially. A lovely delivery. Really good header, but it won't stand. VAR did check it. And the goal has been ruled out for a foul. Manchester United have taken the lead against Newcastle at Old Trafford. United 1, Newcastle 0. Kobbie Mainoo with the goal. And that changes things at the top end of the table. Good news for Chelsea. Yeah. It would put them up into 6th place. United would go level on points with Newcastle. They come here to the Amex, Manchester United, on the final day of the season with the potential of a top 7 finish in their grasp. If it stays this way, then Manchester United won't be able to catch Chelsea because of the goal difference. United on -3, Chelsea on +13.
And Chelsea would just need a point against Bournemouth at home to confirm 6th.
Nkunku out-muscling Buonanotte into the penalty area. Tries the little outside of the foot pass. It deflects off Webster. But Bruggen can't keep it in play. Chelsea have a corner in the 6th added minute. They lead here at Brighton by a goal to nil.
Well, I'm looking at a replay.
Didn't look a foul, did it, from Jackson on Lamptey?
I think we're not being shown kind of definitive what happened there. Lamptey kind of went forward as if he was pushed, but it looked like a slight one, but I think he would have been offside anyway.
Well, that sort of plays into the statement that Wolverhampton Wanderers released earlier, alluding to the vagaries of VAR. Nobody inside the stadium, even us with monitors in the press box, really know exactly what happened there.
Yeah, I wonder whether the ref said, no, I think that's a foul, and VAR said it's not a clear and obvious error, so leave it as it is.
And he was probably offside anyway. And Nkunku with the corner, whipped in towards the far post, looking for Cucurella, headed away by Dunk. Caicedo just cushions the pass down to Gallagher. Gallagher cleverly spots the run of Palmer. Palmer with the ball in, and this time from 6 yards out, Jackson lifts it over the bar. That was a chance for 2-0, big chance.
That's a big chance, right, on half-time, it really is. Lovely little ball inside the fullback from Gallagher. Cole Palmer whips it in first time. He is stretching, Jackson. He's somehow got to find a way to move his body and get it onto his foot so he keeps it down. It's come off the top of his foot and gone over. It's a great chance.
You wonder if Nicholas Jackson may rue that miss. Chelsea still lead by a goal to nil, but 2-0, they'd have been in dreamland. Here's Enciso looking for a Dingra. Gusto's done a really good job up against a Dingra in that personal duel. He gets there ahead of the Ivorian and plays it back to the goalkeeper Petrovic. Chelsea lead 1-0.
I don't know what they're going to do next season, and Reece James is fully fit. I think Malagusto has been one of Chelsea's best players. Yes, we give it to Cole Palmer, and Conor Gallagher, I think, again, what we're going to do with him. But even Malagusto, you know, certainly justifies playing and being a Chelsea regular, but obviously Reece James is the club captain.
Nkunku plays the ball into midfield. Caicedo back to Badiashile. He just clears it out of play for a throw on this near side that Tariq Lamptey will take. Made 3 appearances for Chelsea, having started his career at Stamford Bridge, Tariq Lamptey, before moving here to Brighton. Igor, the big Brazilian centre-half of the Seagulls, comes forward towards the centre circle. Only about a minute of added on time to play. Brighton trailing Chelsea by a goal to nil on TalkSport 2. You're in the company of Alex Crook and Scott Minto, the former Chelsea defender, FA Cup winner back in 1997. Webster closed down by Jackson, has played a lovely ball into Enciso. Enciso looking to release Lamptey down the right. Cucurella having been sacked infield. Lamptey's got some space inside the area. Can Brighton get level before half-time? And he's headed against the bar by João Pedro. Big opportunity for the Seagulls, expertly created, and João Pedro inches away from making it 1-1.
Yeah, I have to say, great play first of all from Adam Webster. Oh, did he get a touch on that, Petrovic?
I'm not sure he did. I think he may have been beaten, the Chelsea goalkeeper. Strong finish to the first half here. Enciso for Brighton down the left. One more opportunity maybe. Into João Pedro. João Pedro trying to get away from Chalobah. Does that, goes down. Wants a penalty. Referee had a good view and says no. Meanwhile, Gusto has gone down for Chelsea on the edge of the box. And the referee has decided enough is enough at the end of this first half. Gusto will need treatment as the rest of his Chelsea teammates head back to the sanctuary, the dressing room. Cole Palmer with his 25th goal of this impressive season, 11 minutes before the end of regulation time. The goal that separates the two, the goal that at the moment has got Chelsea on course for a place in Europe next season. Cucurella with a delivery, Cole Palmer with the improvised header over Verbruggen into the far corner. They'd had a penalty given and then taken away by VAR before that, Chelsea. But João Pedro right on half-time, so close to levelling for Brighton, heading against the crossbar. All in all, Scott Minto, it's been a terrific watch.
Really enjoyed it. Both teams really going at it. You know, Chelsea going for Europe, Brighton with the last home game wanting to finish the season on a high. Has been difficult, but the last couple of games they've played really well, and you know, up against Villa, beating them, and Newcastle the point as well. And I think they've played well here, Brighton, but so too have Chelsea. This is an informed Chelsea side, at the moment. Both sides have created chances. I think Chelsea have created the better of the chances, the clearer of the chances, and have probably just deserved to be a goal up, but this game is far from over.
This is a worry. Malo Gusto said he was down, needing treatment. He's flanked by 2 physios and he isn't moving particularly freely. In fact, he's hobbling all the way back from the right corner of the penalty area over on the far side, back to the dressing room below us.
Yeah, the thing is with that as well is, you know, one, you could say you got 15 minutes of the physio to work on it, but two, if it's a kind of a dead leg or a kick or something like that, it can really stiffen up in that time. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he does come out. He's just trying to turn a walk into a trot. We'll see if he does come out, but not got a bad substitute right back, have they, on the bench?
Now, Reece James will do a job, I'm sure. Nicholas Jackson missed a big chance to make it 2-0. Might that come back and haunt Chelsea in the second half?
Possibly. I would imagine De Zerbi, you know, animated he was on the bench in the first half, or off the bench on the touchline. He'll be in there absolutely demonstrating that they believe they can go and do it. So they'll up it even more, Brighton. So yes, I do feel Chelsea need a second goal. It's not as if they've been keeping lots of clean sheets this season, but you also feel that Chelsea are capable of scoring another goal. So I can see goals from both ends.
A reminder, over on TalkSport, Manchester United lead Newcastle by a goal to nil. Kobbie Mainoo has scored it. They are just approaching the half-time whistle there, and Celtic 3-0 up at Kilmarnock. They are going to be crowned SPL champions tonight here at the Amex. Cole Palmer, who else has Chelsea in front and on course for Europe? Half-time, it's Brighton 0, Chelsea 1.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport 2 with Now. Stream the Premier League contract free with a Now Sports day or month membership. 18 plus, free via internet, terms apply. McDonald's are making small improvements to our classic burgers, searing our 100% British and Irish beef patties so they're even juicier. And we're serving them hotter for meltier cheese, all in new toastier buns. The classics, now a little more Comparison with prior classic burgers, served after 11 a.m, subject to availability.
We all fantasize about our perfect home, sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
When the kids eat us out of house and home, we just eat groceries from Sainsbury's.
Yeah, shopping's here. Give me those. Mine. Taxi's in there. Mine.
When do they leave home?
Get Sainsbury's, Asda and Co-op delivered for free. For groceries and everything else,
Did somebody say just eat?
participate in stores. A minimum spend applies. Other charges apply. Subject to availability. See justeat.co.uk for details.
Whether you're levelling or landscaping, get the job done with big spring offers on trade essentials at Screwfix. Save £10 on the 4-piece Magnus and Spirit level set, now just $39.99. And tackle those lawns with a Titan electric lawnmower, now only $119.99. A saving of £10. Shop spring offers now on the app at screwfix.com or in store. Delivery fees may apply. Prices valid until at least June 2nd, subject to availability. See screwfix.com for full T's and C's.
Hope there won't be any VAR delays today. Heard that rumour about their striker. Can't wait to see what the pundits make of that booking. Looking forward to the match report on this one. When it comes to football, never miss a story. Get the best news, opinion, interviews and gossip at thesun.co.uk. For the football lowdown every day, it's thesun.co.uk.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs.
Hi there, I'm Jeff Stelling. The EFL playoffs are well underway.
Superbly done!
You can hear live and exclusive commentary of each and every game on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
What a start!
Thursday night from 8, it's the Championship semi-final second leg. Leeds face Norwich, live on TalkSport.
And it's pumped in!
Then on Friday night, it's the other Championship semi-final second leg. Southampton go head-to-head with West Brom, live from 8 on TalkSport.
And that is game, set and match.
Buckle up for all the EFL playoffs, live and exclusive on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
Live Premier League on TalkSport 2.
The Leeds fans are on their feet. Somerville onto his right foot, curls it into the corner for a wonderful goal.
What I'd love to see now is Leeds go up, and it'd be great for the Premiership.
And it's in, and what a terrific corner that is, and it's turned home by Gabriel Sadar at the near post for Norwich.
Norwich believe that they can beat Leeds.
And he picks a lovely pass to Adam Armstrong. What a goal for Southampton.
If any of them are not nervous, then I would question their faculties. I think we're all nervous. There's no pretending we're not.
And here is a chance for Wallace inside the penalty area, and he scored. Jed Wallace gives Albion hope.
West Brom, I thought, were probably the better team against Southampton, so they might think they've got a chance.
It's the battle to get into the top flight, and it's all about to go off in the Championship playoffs.
Yes, two blockbuster Championship semi-finals, second legs to come over the next couple of evenings. Tomorrow night, Leeds against Norwich, 0-0 from the first leg. That's live and exclusive on TalkSport. On Friday night, 8 o'clock kickoff, Southampton against West Brom. Also live and exclusive on TalkSport, and also goalless from the first leg. On Saturday, we're at Wembley for the first of the playoff finals. It comes from League One. Bolton against Oxford, a 4:15 kickoff. Build-up underway from 1 o'clock, and on Sunday, it's the League Two playoff final here on TalkSport 2. Crewe against Crawley Town. Crawley, brilliant. 8-1 winners against Milton Keynes Dons in their semi-final. That gets underway at 1 o'clock on Sunday, and of course that's followed by full final day coverage on the TalkSport network from the Premier League. We'll bring you no fewer than 6 live commentaries across TalkSport, TalkSport 2 and the app, and we know they will include Arsenal against Everton. If Manchester City don't beat West Ham, then Arsenal could yet win the Premier League title. If they do, you'll hear it live on TalkSport. You're listening to Game Day exclusive on TalkSport 2, where at half-time it's Brighton 0, Chelsea 1. We'll have full second half commentary to come. But a reminder, in case you missed it earlier, Premier League clubs will be asked to vote on the possibility of getting rid of VAR next season. This is a proposal that's been brought about by Wolverhampton Wanderers, and football writer Henry Winter joined Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent on Drive and gave his reaction to the news.
What's going to be interesting is to see the makeup of the 6 or 7 who would vote to keep it. Whether they are the European clubs, because they are used to it, they probably quite like it. I mean, you've come to me here at Old Trafford, the start of this season. Remember, this VAR, the plan to get rid of VAR is very much being driven by Wolves because of the issues they've had at Bournemouth, against West Ham, but particularly in the start of the season against Manchester United, when Onana took out Kalajic, and they should have had a penalty in the last few seconds. So it's a huge issue. I imagine the Mexican waves going off amongst your listeners, amongst fans all over the country, also amongst 1 or 2 players who are just fed up being on the pitch, waiting for a decision to be made. So those are the pro scrapping VAR. But there's also an issue was actually, is it VAR? Is it the technology? Or is it the level of, the lack of quality from the officials? The human implementation of this, that's got to be taken into account. The consistency has been poor this season. The lack of communication, the lack of transparency is poor, because the game belongs to the players and to the fans. It doesn't belong to David Ellery and IFAB and Stockley Park. And so there has to be better communication. So I don't think VAR has actually helped itself in terms of how it's communicated. But it does have pluses, and the moment it gets scrapped, first there'll be issues going into Europe, but also there'll be people going, that handball would have been spotted, we'll have another hand of God, we'll have another Thierry Henry in Paris thwarting the Irish. So, it's definitely worth having a debate, certainly.
Henry, as you said there, and I think you're totally right, I don't think it's necessarily the technology, it's the officials that are using the technology that haven't been good enough this year. But if they were to scrap VAR, do you think that's a step backwards?
we live in the 21st century. We live in a technological age. We live in an age where all the fans tonight will be able to be listening to you, will be able to sort of stream the game on their phones, will be able to go back immediately. So why shouldn't the person who is making that decision, the most important decision, the man in the middle, the referee, he or she must have access to technology. So it's not as simple as VAR is completely wrong. It's the English implementation of VAR is completely wrong. Now, on the whole, in Europe, particularly in the Champions League, where you're seeing the better officials, everyone's going, oh, that's really good, because they use it properly. The problem we have got is the implementation. It's almost over forensic. It's almost like they're trying to re-referee the game. They're almost trying to chalk off goals. No, just keep it for what it was initially made for a Thierry Henry, for a hand of God, which is for the clear and obvious. It's gone away from that.
Henry, when the clubs come to vote, who is involved in the process, the discussion, to decide from that club's point of view which way they're going to vote?
It's a really good point.
Would the manager be involved in that?
The manager has to be involved, and a PFA, the player rep, the senior players at the club. Obviously, they're all sort of disappearing off either to the Euros or towards the Euros or to the beach, Ibiza, wherever they go nowadays, probably Vegas. So absolutely, they have to be consulted because they're the ones. And also, there's a bit of PFA research going on at the moment in the issues of why we're getting so many injuries this season. At one point in the season, the fifth of all the players were injured. So is it anything of that to do with VAR hanging around on the pitch for 5 minutes in the cold over the winter? Did that contribute to soft tissue injuries? I don't know. They don't know yet, but they're looking into that. So the players, the PFA have to be consulted. The League Managers Association have to be consulted as well. You can't have some, with respect, a suit going from a boardroom at a club into a meeting like that, which has so much, it's a sort of technical debate in a way. There has to be the voice of the dressing room heard as well.
That was Henry Winter reacting on Drive earlier to the proposal from Wolverhampton Wanderers to scrap VAR next season. That will be raised at the Premier League's AGM in June, although TalkSport understands Wolves unlikely to get the support from 13 other clubs that they would need in order to successfully pass that resolution. We'll keep you updated here on TalkSport, on TalkSport, and of course on TalkSport.com between now and that AGM in June. Half-time at the Amex, and Chelsea at the moment are going to make it 4 wins on the spin under Mauricio Pochettino. Madueke into the penalty area, gets a left-footed shot away, and a good save down to his left by Baruga. Kukureya into the box. Buonanotte goes diving in, and the referee gives a penalty, and he is going to overturn it. No penalty. The day that Wolverhampton Wanderers have submitted a proposal for the Premier League to scrap VAR, I think that's an example of the technology working as it should do. Kukureya looking to cut the cross back. Palmer with the header. That is another ice-cold finish from ice-cold Cole Palmer.
That's a really clever header, you have to say. Brilliant goal.
To the edge of the area and in towards Jackson. And there's the second for Chelsea. In fact, the whistle has already blown, and the referee has decided enough is enough at the end of this first half. Yeah, Chelsea leading here at the Amex by a Cole Palmer goal to nil. Manchester United 1-0 up over Newcastle over on TalkSport. As it stands, Chelsea up to 6th in the table, 3 points ahead of Newcastle, albeit with an inferior goal difference, 3 points ahead of Manchester United with a far superior goal difference. So if the results were to stay the same, effectively Chelsea would guarantee a place at least in the Europa Conference League next season, and they are only 3 points behind Spurs in 5th. Spurs who go to Sheffield United on the final day on Sunday, asking a lot of the Blades rock bottom. But if they were to deny Tottenham victory, if they were to beat Spurs and Chelsea win at home to Bournemouth, they could yet, Scott Minto, finish 5th.
And that sounds incredible to hear, doesn't it? My goodness me. I mean, still, they could be caught if it stays like this by Newcastle and end up finishing 7th, or
they could finish 5th. I think the likelihood is, if the results stay like this, they should do the job again. What is a very good Bournemouth side, but I should say there's probably sand between the toes. They'll be thinking they can get at least a point out of that one. So in really this second half, very, very important to see this game out. Only 1 goal in it, every chance Brighton can come back into this one.
You're suggesting that Bournemouth may be on the beach as they head from the beach to Stamford Bridge.
Very good, yes.
Brighton are going to make a change here at half-time. It's one of their youngsters to come off the bench, Valentin Barco, the Argentine signed from Boca Juniors, and he's coming on for Lewis Dunk. Dunk, who picked up that injury in the first half, doesn't often succumb to injuries, but he will not be coming back out, and that has to be a worry in terms of his hopes of a place in the England squad for the Euro, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully it's just a precaution more than anything else. There's no doubt about it. Centre-back position is a position where I'm still not quite 100% sure who's going to be playing there. He certainly wants to be on the flame and fit.
It means that Igor will go in alongside Webster at centre-half. Barco coming on at left-back. It is Brighton who've got us back underway here, under the lights now at the Amex on a warm evening in the Sussex Downs. Brighton in their blue and white striped jerseys, blue shorts and blue socks, taking the goal away to our left in the second half. Chelsea all in navy blue, and they are attacking the goal to the right, behind which their supporters are situated. Here's Enciso turning away from Caicedo into Adingra, and Adingra goes down under the challenge from Gusto. I think maybe that looked like more of a penalty than the one that got overturned the first half. We will find out shortly. Adingra has stayed down. I just don't think he needed to go down had he not have been clipped by Gusto. Play continues. I think the Brighton coaching staff are asking Lamptey to knock the ball out of play because Adingra has not got back to his feet yet. Cole Palmer is straight into the ear of the referee. We haven't seen a replay yet. We're going to get one now. Adingra cutting in from the left on his right foot. He hung a leg out, Gusto. He didn't win the ball, but did Adingra make contact with Gusto as opposed to the other way round?
Do you know what? I think that's a penalty. I do. Adingra's come inside. Gusto's missed the ball. And if it had been Adingra running into Gusto, then fine. But Gusto's actually stuck a leg out, and Adingra's run over that. I think that's a penalty.
Well, if there was any VAR check, it's over pretty quickly, and players restarted with the throw. Brighton backroom staff asking questions of the fourth official.
Now, what I would say is, and we haven't got enough time now, Crookie, even the rest of the game, to talk about VAR, but I do think VAR's interfered too much over the last season or two, and Howard Webb is now saying, let's go back to clear and obvious. It's going to mean that decisions, people will turn around and say, no, I don't agree with that one, and VAR should have got involved. I wouldn't say it was clear and obvious, but it was a definite pen for me.
The ball goes out of play for a Chelsea throw. I can tell you how the two teams are lining up in this second half. Brighton with Verbruggen in goal, and who look back four now of Lamptey, Webster, Igor, and the Argentine Barco, Gross and Gilmore in front of them. Buonanotte, Enciso and Adingra behind João Pedro, who hit the crossbar with the header up front. And João Pedro has found Buonanotte. Buonanotte trying to scoot into the penalty area. Door was quickly closed by Chalabar. And now Madueke, under pressure from three Brighton players, runs himself into a cul-de-sac, and Buonanotte has it back and knocks it to Igor on the halfway line. Chelsea unchanged in this second half. Petrovic in goal, Gusto, Chalabar, Badiashile and Cucurella, the back four that Brighton are attacking at the moment. Gallagher and Caicedo in front of them, Madueke, Palmer the goal scorer, and Nkunku in behind Jackson up front. And here is Nkunku, timed his run, picks up the ball 5 yards outside the penalty area, shoots towards the bottom corner. It's wide, and you can see that Verbruggen puts his right arm in the air, the Brighton goalkeeper, and immediately suggests that Nkunku was in an offside position when he picked up possession.
Oh, I'm not sure he was, but if Nicholas Jackson had looked up earlier, or just know before he even received the ball that he was completely free. By the time he turns, took a couple of touches and played in Nkunku. Nkunku had kind of ran past the ball. Still, he had the opportunity to come inside. Again, got to be hitting the target there.
Brighton have now conceded 59 goals this season. They only conceded 53 in the whole of last season. Adingra is fouled again. He's just starting to grow into the game, Simon Adingra. I think Gusto came out on top in that battle in the first half, but Adunga asking questions early in the second.
No, absolutely, and I think Brighton generally are asking questions. We said that De Zerbi would be asking for much more, and certainly at the start of the second half is exactly what Brighton are doing. Chelsea on the back foot.
Brighton 0, Chelsea 1 here on TalkSport 2. Manchester United a goal up against Newcastle over on TalkSport. Celtic cruising to the SPL title. They lead Kilmarnock away from home by 3 goals to 0. We've got Leeds against Norwich in the Championship playoffs tomorrow on TalkSport. As Barco is penalised for a foul on Gusto. His bright orange hair, Barco, he looks about 12. The Brighton substitute.
Is he allowed out at this time still?
He's got school in the morning, surely. They make them young here at the Amex. The Celtic get a 4th at Kilmarnock. Still, quarter of that game to go. Brendan Rodgers' side making light work of wrapping up the title. Chelsea looking to wrap up European qualification, despite the fact they've conceded 61 goals this season. That's more than any other full Premier League season. Ball is with their goalkeeper Petrovic, who has started to keep shutouts in recent games during this run of wins. 3 clean sheets in his last 6 for the Serbian. He'll be up against England at the European Championships in the summer, and we'll have every game from Germany either here on TalkSport 2 or on TalkSport. Not long to go now till that festival of football gets underway. Free kick for Chelsea. Cucurella will take 5 yards in from the left touchline, midway inside his own half, and plays it back to Badiashile on the edge of the area. I don't think Cucurella particularly wanted it back from the Frenchman, but they've managed to clear it upfield, and Caicedo dinks it over the top, looking for the run of Jackson. Webster's header was a crucial one, and Adam Webster brings it down now inside his own half, and he's had his pocket picked by Nkunku. Nkunku into Jackson in the area, gives it back to the substitute, and now Madueke looking for shooting room on his left foot. Barco did well, but they're still coming forward here. Gusto right across the face of goal and wide for a goal kick.
Yeah, good play from Chelsea, the first real attack of the second half. Good defending as well, though, you have to say, from Brighton, making sure that Chelsea weren't able to get a shot out and shuffle along one way and then the other. The ball was played to Palmer. It's one of those for Malagusto. Is he really shooting? Is he crossing? Kind of caught in between the two, really, and in the end it's gone wide. A better attack though from Chelsea.
7 minutes played in the second half. Brighton 0, Chelsea 1. The home supporters trying to up the ante in the stands. Brighton trying to up the ante on the pitch. Barco forward to João Pedro, stretching those long legs, the Brazilian. He's got Adingra to his left. João Pedro might try and bulldoze his way all the way through. Brilliant run, and Chalobah, great defending to outmuscle João Pedro, and then Cucurella comes in and slides the ball clear. Looked like he might go all the way through for a moment.
That was a great run, wasn't it? And I was waiting for Caicedo to come in and make a tackle. Clearly he was scared to do that on the edge of the box. Once he's inside the box, he can't afford to do that.
There's a goal in this for Brighton, you feel. Chelsea might just have to score again to wrap up the win. Here's Lamptey running at Cucurella, down by the right corner flag, crossing left-footed towards João Pedro, headed away by Chalobah, and Ciso kicks the ball to the ground. He gets another go, and Ciso is shot. He's bravely blocked by Chalobah. Put his body on the line there, and now Chelsea spring the counter, and Nkunku over the halfway line, forward to Palmer. Jackson's totally free to his right. Palmer's going to go alone, is he? Leaves Webster on his backside, and then blocked by Igor when he really should have played it, Nicholas Jackson.
Wow, this is just end-to-end stuff. It's almost like a cup final, isn't it? It's Brighton going for it, Chelsea in a counter-attack. Brighton getting the ball again, and there's no Chelsea midfield.
Here's Gross, halfway inside the Chelsea half. Brighton trailing by a goal to 0, but knocking on the Chelsea door. Gilmour swings the pass out to the right, and Lamptey just inside the penalty area, crosses again in the centre. Not a brilliant clearance by Gusto. Comes to Pascal Gross, forward towards Adingra, and Gusto atoned for his earlier error, slides in and stops the ball reaching the Ivorian. And now Jackson looking to outmaneuver Barco. Back to Madueke inside his own half, and he quickly skips away from Gross and plays it forward to Nicholas Jackson. He's onside Jackson, he's got Palmer, Adam Nkunku in the centre. Oh, and he's played it away from them both. what a missed opportunity. The flag has gone up. Much to Jackson's relief, because the pass was absolutely useless. He's not offside. He's not offside.
No, the referee's assistant was so close to him, he wasn't able to judge that it was played onside. So obviously, if this had gone in the back of the net, VAR would have overruled the flag going up. And Nicholas Jackson, he's through on goal. There's a bit of an angle. I can see what he was trying to do, draw out the keeper, then play it in. But if you don't know who you're going to pass to for sure, just go yourself. And that's the thing that I think with someone like Nicholas Jackson, he has got all the tools. He's quick, he's strong, he can hold the ball up, he can have two defenders hanging off him, he can run the channels, but just in front of goal, does he know exactly what to do? Does he have that composure? Still scored, what, is it 17 goals in all competitions this season? How many could he have scored?
Pochettino has taken the opportunity of a break in play here, because I think, again, Malo Gusto is in need of treatment away to our left. He's given Cole Palmer a right earful, and then he's done the same to Conor Gallagher. I don't think that's because of the spurned opportunity. I think it's because of the gaps that suddenly Brighton are finding in midfield.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, it really has opened up. Again, we said at half-time, you can imagine what De Zerbi would be saying. He has got these riled, hasn't he? Great game of football.
You're listening to Brighton against Chelsea on TalkSport 2 with Now. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action, like Manchester United against Newcastle live tonight, contract free, with a Now membership. Search Now Sports. Brighton searching for an equaliser. They trail 1-0. Lamptey Singh, plenty of the ball all of a sudden. Comes forward down the right again, back into midfield, and Gross. Chelsea down to 10 because Gusto was off the pitch being treated. He's going to come back on now, as Barco plays the ball in forward to the diminutive Gilmore for Brighton. This game has been played at breakneck speed throughout. Lamptey into the area. Couple of step overs. He's up against Caicedo and Cucurella, his former teammates. He twists one way and then the other. Finds Pascal Gross. Quickly closed down Gross by Badia Shiel. And was he manhandled by the defender? Well, Roberto De Zerbi felt so, the referee didn't, and the assistant had a good view on that far side as well. And you could hear the boos around the Amex as Brighton would have throw inside their own half. They felt like that should have been a free kick.
Well, it's difficult for us to see, it's over the other side, but the whole of the stand went mad.
Here's Lamptey roaming down the right again. Lovely ball in! Oh, how Pascal Gross not turned it in from point blank range. He butts heads with the post in frustration. It was a teasing ball from Lamptey, having got the better of Cucurella. Gross the wrong side of Badia Shiel. He has to score, and he turns it wide.
What a ball from Lamptey, in between the two centre-halves. The difficulty of it is bounce just in front of Gross, so he's got to try and not only control it, but not get too much on it, because he's past the front post. It's a really difficult skill, but absolutely just direct it rather than get too much of a touch on it.
This does feel like Brighton's best spell of the evening, though, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Again, we said start the second half, they'll be up for this after what De Zerbi will say. Boy, they certainly are.
Gusto's been dispossessed by Buonanotte. Finds Adingra with that streak of blonde in his hair, cutting in from the left-hand side, plays it against Gusto, but still Brighton have it. They trail 1-0, but they are desperately searching for an equaliser here on TalkSport 2. Enciso into Lamptey, who lets it roll across his body for Webster. Webster coming forward, the big central defender, into Barco. He's just been out-muscled by Nkunku. And then Billy Gilmore has to mop it up before Cole Palmer can really set off on the counter. 1-0 Chelsea, 58 on the clock.
Well, I thought that was a foul by Madueke, but I like the fact the referees are doing this. It's almost like watching how the referees referee in Europe, in the Champions League. It seems to be a lot more allowed, whereas back in the day it wasn't. Now the Premier League seems to be learning from that as well and allowing a lot more physicality. It's a great watch.
Booze will tell you that Cucurella in the left-back position has possession for Chelsea. Chelsea, who've scored 2 or more goals in 10 of their last 11 matches in the Premier League. The only exception to that was the 5-0 bashing they took live on TalkSport at Arsenal last month. They are in excellent form, hence their rapid climb up the table, but they're going to have to weather a bit of the Sussex storm here, because Brighton are dominating possession in the opening 15 minutes of the second half, despite the fact they trail 1-0.
Yeah, without a doubt, this is Brighton's best possession, best part of the game. And you feel they do need to score while they're on top. Conversely, for Chelsea, while they're under pressure, you find a way to not concede and you take control of the game when you possibly can.
They have had 13 different goal scorers this season, Brighton, as Gilmour looks to release João Pedro into the penalty area, turns on the afterburners, back to Adingra, right across the face of goal, slightly behind Tariq Lamptey. Never really got the ball under his spell, and Chelsea will not only bring it clear, but they'll counter, and they'll counter at speed with Jackson. Palmer overlapping on the left-hand side, and Nkunku has made a run. Brilliant defending by young Barco, hooking the ball away from Nkunku, and then it's punched clear by Verbruggen, the Brighton goalkeeper.
Brilliant defending from Barco. The left-back's just come inside. The great ball in from Cole Palmer. It's one of those where you're facing your own goal, you're 6 yards out, you don't really want to get any kind of touch on it. Could easily go in as an own goal, but he's flicked it over. It's a great bit of defending, I have to say.
Tell you who looks like actually Chesney from Coronation Street. Do you remember him?
I haven't watched Coronation Street in decades.
Chesney's not been in it for decades, in fairness, but Google it. It's a good looker like that.
I might do now.
Brighton 0, Chelsea 1. And there's an equaliser at Old Trafford early in the second half. Anthony Gordon has made it Manchester United 1, Newcastle 1. As Adingra gets the wrong side of Chalobah. They haven't got too many back here, Chelsea, but he painted a come inside, then went outside. Chalobah washed it all the way and concedes the corner.
Well, I actually thought he was offside there. If it led to a goal, would have been interesting to see with VAR getting involved, obviously. But that's a wonderfully timed challenge from Chalobah. Again, he's inside the box. If you're going to go to ground, you have to make sure you got the ball. He certainly did that.
That Newcastle equaliser means that Manchester United definitely won't be qualifying for Europe unless they can find a winner over on TalkSport. 1-1 there, 1-0 to Chelsea here on TalkSport 2. We've reached the hour mark and Brighton are about to take their third corner of the evening. Barco, the youngster. Oh, not a good delivery, not a good clearance either though by Jackson. Straight back to the taker, and that was a better ball in, headed away by Badiashile inside the 6-yard box now for a Brighton throw. Everybody behind the goal that Brighton are attacking are on their feet, trying to suck the ball into the back of Petrovic's net. It's stabbed away by Chalobah. And Nkunku holding off Lamptey, playing it back to Cucurella. Here's Gallagher now, midway inside Chelsea territory. Still 1-0 up here, Mauricio Pochettino's side.
Just.
For all the attacking thrust that Brighton have shown in this second half, Petrovic has been well protected by his defence.
He has, and this is what Chelsea need to do now. Just keep the ball, take the sting out of the situation. Even if they're not going anywhere, just get passes in. You're right, Petrovic hasn't had too much to do, but that's because there's been some fantastic last-ditch tackling and maybe a little bit of luck that a penalty wasn't given.
They are bottom 5 in terms of chance conversion in the Premier League, Brighton, so they create plenty of opportunities, but they don't stick too many of them away. Here's Gallagher, left wing position for Chelsea, over the halfway line, motoring forward. He's got 4 ahead of him. One of them's Nkunku. He's trying to stand up Lamptey here on the edge of the box. Back to Gallagher. Jackson, Madueke and Palmer all wait in the centre. Palmer the goal scorer. His header towards the end of the first half, still dividing the two teams here on TalkSport 2. And Chelsea have gone all the way back into their own half, and Badiashile. Here's Chalobah now, who started 16 in the last 17 games for Chelsea, Trevor Chalobah. Down the line from Madueke to Gusto. Across the box and turned in by Nkunku. There's the second. And that should seal the points. Christopher Nkunku, who's had an injury-mired season, turns the ball home right-footed from Gusto's cross from the right. It all came after Adingra switched off and allowed the Chelsea fullback to get in behind. And Nkunku with his third goal of the campaign as he blows up a balloon that's been thrown in from the crowd. Is that the goal that will guarantee European football next season, Scott Minto?
It could well be. And you're absolutely right about Adingra. He's let Gusto go. Fair play to Chelsea again. They had the ball on the left-hand side. They were quite patient with it. Went across the back line. Gusto ran on. The ball fell to Madueke. Adingra just switched off. And Gusto gets the ball pretty much on the byline. He's able to look up. He's not under pressure at all. It's a fantastic ball across, and it's a really good finish from Nkunku.
Well, that's what they paid the big money for. They haven't seen it enough, Chelsea, this season. But if he can stay fit, he will be a real handful, and you have to admire the celebrations. Blowing up the balloon. There's no bursting Chelsea's bubble at this moment in time. They are 25 minutes away from 4 wins in a row, and Reece James is about to come on.
It'll be interesting to see where he's going to play. Chelsea just suddenly wrestle back momentum, not just with the goal, but just in the last couple of minutes about keeping the ball, taking the sting out of the situation. We know how good Reece James is. We saw what he did when he came on within a few minutes at the City ground.
What that goal does, it just changes the momentum again as Celtic go 5-0 up at Kilmarnock. Brighton, having dominated this second half, looked like the team who would score next. They've just had the wind completely blown out of their sails.
Yeah, and as Madueke is being taken off, so Reece James again is going to play as that kind of forward wide play. He's such a good player, and he's so versatile. Can play as a centre-half in a 3, a right back, a right wing back. And Madueke's now saying he's okay. He wants to stay on.
Well, this is maybe where Pochettino needs to show a bit more edge. He'd made the decision. James ready to come on. Madueke, I'm told, can be a temperamental character in the dressing room. Probably just needs a flea in his ear from the manager here.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I think this is the moment where Pochettino should be saying, right, no, I've made the decision, you're coming off.
Ahmed Diallo has put Manchester United back in front over on TalkSport. Manchester United 2, Newcastle 1, 2 of the youngsters bailing out Eric Ten Hag, it seems. Anybody to bail Brighton out here? Good run by Buonanotte towards the edge of the area, but dispossessed by Cucurella, and here comes Cole Palmer. They look in the mood for more Chelsea. Palmer out to Jackson on the right. He's dragged Igor out of position, and then Adingra comes sliding in and doesn't get anywhere near the ball. Much to the glee of the Chelsea fans behind the goal, they're attacking away to our right. They lead 2-0 here, Pochettino's team. Reece James still waiting to come off. Here's Caicedo. Malaise from the Chelsea fans. They haven't had the opportunity to bring those out too often this season. But it's a season that's ending with a flourish from Mauricio Pochettino, surely ending any doubts about his future at the football club.
Got to be ending those doubts, surely. After what happened in the first 10 games, it's always going to be very difficult. Since then, only the top 3 have scored more points. I've got more points.
Caicedo into Jackson, brings it down neatly on the chest on the edge of the D. Back heel to Conor Gallagher. Madueke has made the run. Up against Barco. Tees up Gallagher. Can he get a shot off here? Gallagher inside the box. He goes for the cross instead, and then Webster chests it back to his goalkeeper, Cooley. Looks like James for Gusto is going to be the change now, and the Labour also coming on for Brighton next time there's a stop in play. So Madueke has won the battle between player and manager, it seems.
Yeah, interesting. So there's nothing wrong with Gusto, then I don't see why you take him off. One thing you don't want to do, Chelsea are on top, keeping the ball for fun at the moment.
Here's Palmer inside the area, dispossessed by Pascal Gross. Raheem Sterling is also stripped and ready for action. That will be for Madueke, we understand.
But they do not want to be conceding any goals and let Brighton get back into it. The fans are up for this game, and if they get it back to 2-1, you never know what could happen.
Still a quarter of the game to play. You're listening to Brighton against Chelsea on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. Confirmation of those 2 Chelsea substitutions, and Madueke isn't particularly happy about it.
No, he doesn't. And you don't necessarily want your players to be happy to be coming off, but he's got to know who's boss. I've forgotten what the game it was. He gave a great post-match interview. He just looked like he's full of personality, would be a good lad in the dressing room.
I think it was with Sam, wasn't it? And that was right back at the start of the season when he was saying they could still finish top 4. Double change for Brighton as well. incidentally. For Labour for Gilmore and Welbeck for Buonanotte. Danny Welbeck having signed a new 2-year contract this week. And we spoke to him live on White and Jordan on the back of that. Jim and Simon back tomorrow from 10 a.m.
Yeah, I heard that interview. It came across very well. He's right, there's been a lot of injuries, and of course they lost Caicedo and McAllister, two massive players here. So when people do say, well, you know, not the same as last season, well, it's not the same team as last season. Plus they had the Europa League to deal with. And this is Brighton and Hove Albion not that long ago in the 3rd tier of English football. Didn't have their own stadium. This is as good as it gets, trust me.
20 minutes to go here. As good as it gets for Chelsea this season. They are 20 minutes away from 4 successive Premier League wins. They lead by 2 goals to 0.
And please, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way in any way whatsoever, but this is golden times for Brighton.
It's not been a golden night so far, though, for the team who were on a 12-match unbeaten run at home before losing to both Manchester City and to Arsenal. Looks like they might lose to Chelsea as well. That was a dangerous ball whipped in from the left-hand side. Bayern Kunku. Barco with Sterling lurking, had to turn it behind.
Really good defending again from the youngster. Again, he's having to stretch on his right foot, but made sure Sterling didn't come inside him.
Well, those Chelsea fans behind the goal are having a party as the corner is taken short. Played in wide on the right by Nkunku. I think he's done really well, not just the goal, Nkunku, but the personality that he's shown tonight. He's demanded the ball at every turn.
It's amazing, Crookie, we'll never know, but if he was fit from the start and didn't have that serious injury, him and Jackson looked really good in pre-season. Just how Chelsea's season could have turned.
Well, I think what you can say, and it's pertinent because they're both in action tonight on the TalkSport network, the 2 fallen giants of the season, Manchester United and Chelsea. Chelsea looking better, Nick, moving into next year, don't they?
Absolutely. And I think, again, we talk about Poch's future. It's so important for everybody to know, you know, the players, but even more so the fans, that he is the short and medium term solution. Get behind him.
Labour has just fouled Gallagher on the edge of the area, so I can tell you it's currently Brighton 0, Chelsea 2. For the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of TalkSport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can back Brighton to come back and win at 50 to 1. They're on the attack now with a Dingra. João Pedro with a header away from goal. Chelsea to hold on at 1 to 33 on. You can back the draw at 16 to 1. William Hill also offering Chelsea to win 3-0 at 3 to 1. We can back Chelsea to win 2-1 at 24 to 5. That's all thanks to William Hill. Get epic value all season. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. 2-0 to Chelsea here. Manchester United 2, Newcastle 1 over on TalkSport. That means Chelsea up to 6th in the table. On 60 points, 3 ahead of both Newcastle and Manchester United. And Manchester United won't be able to finish above them unless they win here at Brighton by about 17 goals on Sunday. Not sure they've scored 17 goals all season, Manchester United.
This could be a wonderful night for Chelsea. Could be even better if Spurs lose to Sheffield United at the weekend.
That would just be Spursy, wouldn't it? The season when they, at one stage, were talking about being title contenders to not even finish in the top 5. Whatever happens, it's going to be a fascinating final day across the TalkSport network. Arsenal-Everton live on TalkSport. We'll have a full exclusive commentary on TalkSport 2 as well, and all the goals as they go in from elsewhere. 6 commentaries in total to include the TalkSport app. The only place you need to be on final Sunday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the All Access podcast with you as well, you and Sam.
8:15 tomorrow morning, don't be late.
I'll be up. Do you need to set the alarm?
I've got a 4-year-old for that.
I'm up at 6:30 with the kids.
Here's Pascal Gross for Brighton, who are 2-0 down with 17 minutes to go, and just look like they're lacking a little bit of belief now after a good start in the second half. That goal from Nkunku has killed that, but here's a dinger in the area. Cuts it back for João Pedro. Probably needed to get the shot away a lot quicker than he did there before Sterling was able to steal in and win possession back for Chelsea. Petrovic closing in on a 4th clean sheet, and 7 clears up to the halfway line. But it's picked up by Adam Webster for Brighton. If they were to get a goal back now, it would be a really intriguing last quarter of an hour. Ball swung in towards Welbeck, headed away by Chalobah. He's had another accomplished evening at the heart of that Chelsea defence. He's one of the players they were looking to let go in the summer. One of the homegrown players they thought they could catch in on.
Chalobah and Gallagher.
Might still be the case this coming summer as well.
I do hope not.
Nicholas Jackson just lets the ball bounce off his shin, and Igor comes in and clears it away for the throw. 75 on the clock. Brighton 0, Chelsea 2. Brighton won 5 of their first 6 games this season. They've only won 7 of the last 30. Only the bottom 4 have picked up fewer points than De Zerbi's men since the end of September. That is a worrying trend to take into next season.
No, it is, but again, they lost 2 key players. And okay, you can say this, we started the season well, but I think the injuries, March, Matoma, Hinchelwood, Estupinian, Ferguson, Pedro's been out for a period of time, to name just a few. It's very difficult, and then to have the Europa League alongside that as well. It can be a very long season, those Thursday, Sundays, if you're not used to it.
They came through a difficult Europa League group as well, won the group before losing over 2 legs to Roma. Barco with a lovely switch of play, picks out Adingra, right corner of the penalty area. Adingra with a step over, left-footed shot over the bar, and it stays 2-0 to Chelsea. That was a good move.
There's enough time. There's enough time for Brighton to get back in this game. I do agree with you. I think that second goal has kind of just taken the steam that they had in the first 15 minutes, but just in the last 2 or 3 minutes, they're going back at Chelsea again. João Pedro just a few minutes ago was too laboured with his just touches, wasn't able to get the shot in. And Adingra's come inside and it's just gone over. It's a decent shot, that decent strike.
Moises Caicedo just being helped back to his feet by Barco, having gone down off the ball. Goal kick for Chelsea that Petrovic will take short inside his own area.
Has he justified his blonde hair tonight?
He's done okay. I think Cucurella has been the better of the 2 returning Seagulls. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I do. Cucurella's done well, to be fair.
I'm yet to see really Caicedo impose himself in a Chelsea shirt as he did when he was here. That's a clumsy tackle from behind from Sterling on Barco, and he'll get a yellow card, Raheem Sterling. You can hear what the Brighton fans thought about that.
Well, Barco's done well since he's come on, hasn't he? He's made 2 really good interceptions and try to get forward when he can. And yeah, it's a clumsy challenge from Raheem Sterling.
They rate him very highly here, Barco. It's a complicated deal to do, I'm told, signing him from Boca Juniors in the January window. There was a suggestion that maybe he'd go back to Argentina on loan, but De Zerbi wanted to integrate him in the first team straight away. Gross with a free kick, left-hand side as we look. Midway inside Chelsea territory. They trail Brighton to Mauricio Pochettino's side by 2 goals to 0. Gross with a looping delivery. A bit flat, really. Adingra puts it back in after Webster had missed the initial header, and then it's booted upfield by Cucurella for Jackson to chase. Gross did well on halfway. Otherwise, Jackson would have been in there. Here is Pascal Gross. He'll be in the Germany squad for the Euros this summer, live on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. The full-time whistle blows at Kilmarnock. Congratulations to Celtic and Brendan Rodgers. 5-0 winners tonight. Champions in Scotland once again. Won it at a canter in the end. A couple more Brighton changes in the offing. We're going to see Adel Ofaya come on. That is a familiar name for rugby league fans amongst you. Nephew of the great Martin Ofaya. Ansu Fati, who's fatter to deceive really since being signed in a glitzy January transfer from Barcelona, is also being readied. They get a lot right in the transfer market, Brighton. That's one they've got very wrong really, because he's on huge money and he hasn't delivered much. Here's Reece James, good challenge by Barker, and Ciso away from Sterling, who knew he couldn't bring him down having just been booked, and Ciso clipped by Caicedo. He might get a yellow card to mark his return to the Amex. Indeed he does. Booking for Caicedo.
Absolutely. He doesn't quite look as sharp as he did in the Brighton shirt, does he? Even there, just running there, and Ciso running at him. He was half a yard behind him. Before you know it, he's half a yard in front of him, and he's bringing him down.
definite yellow card.
An opportunity for Brighton to flood forward into the penalty area once again. I was speaking to a former Brighton player before the game. He said the one surefire thing that will happen tonight, Caicedo will get a yellow card. There it is. Should have followed his advice. Here's Adingra. The free kick didn't come to a lot, but Brighton still in possession as Fati and Afaya wait down below us. We played 80 minutes. It's Brighton 0, Chelsea 2 on TalkSport 2. Here's Gross into the area. Good ball into the German. Adingra crowded out of it, but he wins it back off Cucurella, then sticks in the left boot and clears it away. Just haven't created enough clear-cut chances. Brighton have really put serious pressure on this Chelsea backline, and Barco from 40 yards out, Taylor fires into the arms of Petrovic. It stays 2-0 Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, two things there. One, Barco can't be shooting from, 35 yards out. There'll be some strike to beat Petrovic in there, but two, you're right, and I would actually say it's been really good Chelsea defending. You know, where this season they've conceded far too many goals, 61 in what will be 37 matches. Got to do better than that defensively over the season, but just in the last few games they've really looked much safer, haven't they? Protection in front, but even when the centre-backs have been run at, and Trevor Chalobah in particular is defending really well this evening.
Oh, good ball forward to Nicholas Jackson. Goalkeeper hesitated, then he brought him down. Was the contact inside the penalty area? The referee is going to show Verbruggen a yellow card. My initial reaction was maybe it was just outside the box. It was indecision really from Verbruggen, because he started to come, then he stopped, and by the time he did come, Jackson whipped the ball away from him and was taken down. It's outside the box, as I thought. It's going to be a free kick. Could it have been a red card?
Well, I think without a doubt it was a promising attack. Was it a goal scoring opportunity? Again, I think his first touch was really heavy and just took him away. I think by the time it had taken his second touch, there would have been a few Brighton players to have come back. So I think it was a correct decision from the referee in both ways. Definitely outside the box. That one was pretty obvious, but I also do think it was a yellow card, not a red.
So free kick here within range for Chelsea, leading by 2 goals to 0 at the Amex.
What I would say is Verbruggen kind of came, then he stopped, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then he went again. And that gave Jackson a chance to just nick in there first.
Very hesitant from the big Dutch goalkeeper. I think Pochettino is inquiring why it wasn't a red card. Very animated conversation with the 4th official, not for the first time tonight. Here comes the free kick. There are a cluster of Chelsea players stood over the ball. I think Raheem Sterling might be sizing this one up. Was it the FA Cup game, was it, earlier in the season when he pulled rank on a free kick?
Leicester, wasn't it?
Almost cleared the stand.
Missed the penalty that day as well, didn't he? Yeah, wonderful player, Raheem Sterling. Not in the greatest of form at the moment, but so good for club and country. I think a great ambassador for club and country, both on and off the pitch, but never been the greatest strikers of the ball.
He's really determined to be a success at Chelsea as well. As you say, it hasn't quite worked out that way so far. Sterling with the staggered run-up, and he shoots right footed straight into the arms of Verbruggen. Didn't really have the power to beat the goalkeeper.
No, it went straight at him, but it was up and over. It was decent technique.
Barco chips it forward, looking for the runner João Pedro. Headed clear only as far as Danny Welbeck. Welbeck trying to slide it forward to Adingra, intercepted by Reece James. Good positioning from the England international, and he plays it back to Caicedo in the right back position. Chelsea leading here by 2 goals to 0. Still 2-1 to Manchester United at Old Trafford. Is Erik ten Hag going to pick up a rare and much needed victory to give Manchester United a chance of qualifying for the Conference League on the final day of the season?
Better win the FA Cup final, wouldn't they?
Of course, if they were to win the FA Cup final, that would be Europa League football. I think they probably need to win here and hope Newcastle slip up at Brentford, to be honest. Here's Enciso. Still the Brighton subs, Fati and Afaya, unable to come on because there hasn't been a stoppage in play in the last few minutes, and we've only got 7 of them remaining of normal time.
You said that about United. I couldn't possibly comment.
Here's Enciso. I know the frailties of the men from Old Trafford. Barco scooping it forward for Pascal Gross, who got the wrong side of the Chelsea defence, and then taps it back to NC, so that wasn't a bad delivery. Adingra nods it down inside the area. Might come for João Pedro, could come for Pascal Gross. Anyone take a shot? That's what De Zerbi will be thinking. They didn't get the shot away. Barco with a lovely ball in towards the far stick, and it scoots away from Gross, who was coming in behind for a goal kick for Chelsea. They lead 2-0.
Oh, what a delicious ball whipped in there from Barco. Wonderful left foot. No way anyone could get near it from Chelsea. Just crying out for someone to get in at the far post. Gross stretching. Couldn't get there, and there's no other Brighton player waiting. But a wonderful ball from Barco.
Finally, these Brighton changes can be made. On comes a fire for Lamptey. Straight swap at right back, and Ansu Fati, for what will be one of his farewell appearances in a Seagull shirt, is on for Enciso. Don't forget Alan Brazil and Gabby Agbonlahor back on TalkSport Breakfast from 6 AM tomorrow, looking ahead to the final weekend of the Premier League season and those Championship playoff semi-finals, second legs, live on TalkSport tomorrow and Friday. And if you fancy something a bit different on your morning commute, check out the Chris Evans Breakfast Show weekdays from 6:30 on Virgin Radio, and you can listen to Virgin Radio on DAB or download the app. Chris Evans, of course, a big football fan.
I'm sure Gabby won't be backwards and coming forwards for Spurs fans.
This is ridiculous from João Pedro. He's been caught by Reece James, but he's somersaulted about 4 times in the air. Just get up and get on with it. You're 2-0 down at home. Just watch this, Scott Minto, on the replay.
I mean, first of all, he's fouled Reece James, brought him down. Reece James has kind of tumbled himself. His legs have come up. He's caught João Pedro. And yeah, what was that? A double twist with a half pike?
Well, we've got the Olympics on TalkSport this summer. Some of the synchronised divers would have been proud of that one.
5.9.
Just silly from João Pedro. It's been a frustrating night. He had that header against the bar in the first half. Apart from that, he's had very little to feed on.
No, and there's been a couple of times where, you know, he's had the ball at his feet on the edge of the box, and he needs to move his feet quicker. Chelsea, as I say, have defended well, but it just kind of brings down the atmosphere as well when someone looks like they've got a good chance, and they're just not really moving the ball, getting the shot off.
Another change here for Chelsea. Cesare Casadei, recall from Leicester in January, is coming on for his 10th substitute Premier League appearance since his recall. It's also his 50th club career appearance. There's a VAR check here, and I think they're looking at Reece James and possibly violent conduct.
Well, I'll tell you what, his foot does come out.
Is it Beckham-esque against Simeone all those years ago at France 98?
Yeah, do you know what?
I mean, the reaction is over the top.
No, it is.
But it's silly from Reece James, just back from injury, to even risk it.
I'll tell you what, VAR want to get involved in this, they absolutely can. I do feel that in recent weeks that the directive has been trying not to re-referee.
Well,
but
Michael Salisbury's just made the television symbol, and there's every chance that Reece James is going to be sent off here for Chelsea. It is an absolutely nothing incident that an experienced campaigner as Reece James is should not be getting involved in. You're 2-0 up away from home, you're just back from injury, you may be trying to catch the eye of Gareth Southgate ahead of the Euros. This is not the way to go about it.
Quickly, it's a red card. Looking at the replay again, which obviously is the referee is, whatever angle you look at it, he's brought down. It's more petulant than anything, but I think it's a good...
Pochettino is having to be held back by the fourth official because he wanted a view of the replay. He wanted to get in the ear of the referee who stood watching the screen.
Can't get involved. The referee's got to be looking at this. There's no doubt about it. His leg goes out, kicks out. It's a moment of madness.
And he'll know, Reece James. He knows what's coming here. The referee is reaching for his back pocket, and Reece James is sent off in the most ridiculous of circumstances. An absolute head loss from the England international. And that is a big blot on Chelsea's copybook on what has been an otherwise perfect night for Mauricio Pochettino's team.
Well, do you know what? He's got the ball in the first place. He's shaped a pass back, and then he's used his strength to get round João Pedro, who's fouled him. He's gone down. Do you know what, Crookie? I think it's almost the perfect way to describe it, Beckham-esque. I really do. He's been fouled, he's gone down. It's kind of a petulant half a second moment of madness, but it is a red card.
This is the club captain for Chelsea. Supposed to be leading by example. They're going to need Thiago Silva to come on for the final couple of minutes plus stoppage time.
He wasn't going to, was he?
He is now, and it's Nicholas Jackson who's having to be sacrificed.
Has Casadei sat back down again now?
Yeah, he never actually got on the pitch.
He was already waiting.
So Chelsea down to 10. It probably won't make any difference to the outcome of the game. Thiago Silva is on for his penultimate Blues appearance. He'll be back to Fluminense at the end of the season. It's his 155th game in a blue shirt.
Yeah, but after the season that Reece James has had, the last thing he wants to do is...
He can't play now, last day of the season.
Absolutely.
And presumably violent conduct, he'll start next season suspended as well. I'll be really keen to hear what Pochettino makes of that when we speak to him in a few minutes.
I'm still waiting. I want to hear that other question you said you got for him.
It'll be there. And he'll answer it. He always does. Few seconds to go at the end of normal time. Chelsea down to 10 men, but leading by 2 goals to nil. Still, Manchester United lead Newcastle 2-1 over on TalkSport. They've got about 20 minutes left to play at Old Trafford. Here's Barco chipping it into the penalty area. Chelsea would have conceded here. I think there will be a few added minutes, 10 of them, in fact.
We had 9 in the first half, didn't we?
Set up a real grandstand finish.
Well, it's definitely enough time to get 2 goals. The question is, did they look likely to get it? And Roberto De Zerbi, where he's been very animated in the first half and some of the second, he looks just a little bit resigned.
Do you think the reaction of João Pedro, which we scoffed at the time, did that help make the referee's mind up?
No, I don't actually. I do think it was a double somersault and twist, and he went over the top on that. But I honestly don't think it had anything to do with it. I think if you look at that in isolation, the last thing I want to be saying is Reece James deserves to get sent off, but he did.
Here's Cole Palmer. He's going to try and keep the ball by the corner flag for 9 minutes. It's ambitious, but he's played it against Barco, and it's out for a throw, and then there's some afters between Palmer and Barco. It's all got needlessly agitated, hasn't it? Pochettino is again bellowing at the 4th official.
No, but he's frustrated because of what's happened. You know, in many ways, it's been the perfect performance, perfect away performance. He's talking to one of the Brighton coaches now, who's certainly been up and down and having a go himself.
It's Pochettino's assistant, a little embrace between those two. Now he's in conversation with De Zerbi. It was always going to boil over on the touchline at some point with those two characters. Reece James has set it right off. Here's João Pedro away from Caicedo. I wonder if Pochettino is complaining about the way that João Pedro went down. As you say, I'm not sure it did make any difference. They looked at it anyway, and he did kick out Reece James.
Yeah. No, he definitely made the most of it, but it didn't make any difference. It was even more than a bit of a flick. It was a kind of a stud, as it were, and he caught him. Wouldn't have hurt him, but just can't do that.
It's been a big night in the race for European football. Chelsea 2-0 up here at Brighton, but still 8 minutes of added time to go, and they're playing against 10 men, the Seagulls. They've got plenty of attacking weapons out there to try and exploit that numerical advantage. Webster out to the right-hand side and a fire. Adingra on the overlap. Here's Ansu Fati dropping into midfield. His cross took a deflection. João Pedro trying to keep it alive. He couldn't. Barco racing over to this near touchline. Keeps the ball in play. Then rolls it off to Baleba. Here's Fati in the green footwear again. Chelsea fans in good voice away to our right. There's a lot of empty seats now in the home sections. It's not the easiest ground to get away from. Scott Minto will find that out in a few minutes.
Well, I might listen to your interview with Poch, and then by then everyone would have gone.
Here's Adingra hugging that right touchline. Picked up by Fati. Fati forced away from goal by Caicedo, but he still found Barco. I think has impressed since coming on. That's not a good delivery though. Headed clear by Chalobah. Chelsea 2 up, and we've played 3 of the 10 added minutes at the end of the 90. Manchester United 3-1 up now, and surely home and hosed. Rasmus Højlund with a goal at Old Trafford. Some respite for Erik ten Hag over on TalkSport. Here's Barco, low ball into the area, stabbed away by Thiago Silva in the very bright orange boots. now patrolling that Chelsea back line. They're going to miss his leadership next season. Gross, good ball to the far post. Adingra down into the bottom corner, and it hits the upright and cannons away. The goalkeeper beaten. Adingra so close to getting Brighton back in it, and then Eagles giving it straight to Palmer. Palmer over the halfway line. The frame of the goal still rattling away to our right. That looked for all the world, Scott Minto, as if it was going to nestle in the corner.
I'll tell you what, that would have made things interesting, wouldn't it, if that had got in? Petrovic absolutely beaten. Adingra couldn't believe what happened there. Hit the post, could easily have gone in, it didn't. 2-1, there still would have been time for that equaliser.
5.5 minutes of stoppage time to play. Brighton 0, Chelsea 2. Here's João Pedro, edge of the area, dispossessed by Caicedo, and then it's whacked away by Chalobah. Anywhere will do now for Chelsea. They close in on a 4th successive victory and a guarantee of European football next season because of the goal difference swing they have with Manchester United. That result from Old Trafford doesn't do Chelsea any harm at all. It will put them in the box seat to get 6th place and the Europa League. The best United can hope for will be a Conference League place in the last day of the season. Here's João Pedro into Ansu Fati, edge of the area. Never looked confident, and he's dispossessed by Chalobah, and then Nkunku, scorer of the crucial second Chelsea goal, clears it into Brighton territory. Time running out, Scott Minto, for the home side.
Yeah, I know Cassidy looks like he's about to come on. Changes made. I'm not surprised, just Poch trying to see out the game now.
Yeah, double change for Chelsea, not just Cassidy, who is about to be introduced, I think, just to waste a few seconds. Chukwu as well.
Yeah, I'm just watching the replay of the volley from Adingra. Great ball to the far post. He's kind of side-footed it on the volley, kept it on target, or so he thought. Petrovic beaten.
Yeah, he did almost everything right, Adingra. Would have been his 8th goal of the season, the young player of the tournament, the AFCON, won by his home nation Ivory Coast. Ball into the Chelsea area, chested back to the goalkeeper Petrovic by Chalobah. Welbeck almost managed to toe end it away. Cole Palmer is going to be one of the players taken off by Pochettino. They've only got 4 minutes of added time to see out this 2-0, and Gallagher will also be making way.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is Chelsea are showing again why, just on a much more consistent basis, Pochettino is getting the message across, and the Chelsea players are feeling much more comfortable wearing the Chelsea shirt. Difficult place to come. Yeah, Brighton have not been great in the second half of the season, but they've played pretty well today, especially at the start of the second half. If Chelsea are able to keep a clean sheet, then that's very good from them.
Yeah, certainly defensively they've tightened up in recent weeks, as the statistics bear out. Here is Igor. Any goal now for Brighton surely would be only a consolation one. João Pedro coming in from the left-hand side into the penalty area. Good ball in, and turned in at the near post. Danny Welbeck celebrates his new contract with a goal that gives Brighton a glimmer of hope and gives 10-man Chelsea some palpitations late in the game. Brighton 1, Chelsea 2-3, added minutes remaining.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's still time, 3 minutes. The ball's out on the left-hand side. João Pedro's whipped it in, it's gone through the legs of Trevor Chalobah. Really good movement, you have to say, from Danny Welbeck, who's got in front of Badiashile. Can't let your striker get in front of you like that. But he has, and Petrovic has no chance whatsoever.
And Pochettino is still going to make these changes. Palmer and Gallagher off. Cassidy and Ugachuk will be coming on. It means there's going to be added on time at the end of added on time. Brighton 1, Chelsea 2. Because of all the stoppage time we've had, they're going to finish at Old Trafford not long after we do here over on TalkSport. Manchester United 3, Newcastle 1. If Brighton were to equalise, that would be a genuine three-way fight on the last day of the season for a place in the Europa League. It would be fascinating. Wouldn't want to be our producers picking which of those games to cover as a commentary match here on TalkSport 2. It's changed about 6 times tonight already.
Getting that late, I think Valentin Barco's mum is saying, you've got to get home, son.
Tell you what though, the they do rescue a point here, Reece James is going to be feeling very down himself in the dressing room.
Absolutely.
He's going to have to take a big responsibility for that needless red card that's got Brighton back in it. João Pedro, they're going to come forward again here. Are they going to get one last chance? In the 99th minute, Adingra plucks it from the sky, but his pass is behind a fire. Webster keeping the home side on the front foot. Pochettino looking pensive as he walks up and down inside the technical area down below us. 2-1 Chelsea lead, but they're hanging on at the end of the game. João Pedro, right-footed cross, flicked behind by Agachukwu, and Brighton have a corner in the 100th minute at the Amex.
Wow, and
the goalkeeper is asking to come forward, but they've taken it short. Gross's delivery. Oh, it's a really good ball in, and Chelsea just about get it clear, but Labour urged to shoot. Charged down by Nkunku. It's Barco now, left-hand side. All hands on deck for Chelsea. The goalkeeper had started to come forward for the corner. They took it too quickly, and he had to get back, and it's cleared upfield by Sterling. Pochettino urging his side to not sit so deep. Here's João Pedro, level with the penalty area, cuts in from the left. Good ball in to Ansu Fati. The blue and white shirts are queuing up in the centre. Gross with a cross. Goalkeeper punches it clear. And he got plenty of distance. Petrovic on it too. Webster slips and looks to play it in left-footed. Headed away by Chalabar. The 10 added minutes are up. Still Pochettino tries to beckon his team forward. Little back heel from Gross. Into Barco. Barco away from Agachukwu. Good ball in. Headed away by Thiago Silva. Using all his experience there. Chelsea coaching staff baying for the full-time whistle. I think we're going to play for at least another minute. Barco, that's not a good ball. Keeper probably should have come for it. Thiago Silva was there to clear it. Chalabar away and over the halfway line. This is frantic, now-biting stuff for Chelsea, and it is at Old Trafford as well, because Newcastle have scored late, but there's no salvation for Brighton. The full-time whistle goes, and Chelsea look nailed on now for European football next season. They had to survive a seagull storm late in the game when they looked like they were cruising after Cole Palmer's first half header was added to by substitute Christopher Nkunku early in the second half, but Reece James shown a straight red card after kicking out at João Pedro, and all of a sudden that invited Brighton back into the game. Welbeck scored in the 7th minute of added time, but Scott Minto, your former club, just about held firm.
Well, they did. Nervy, wasn't it? And you're absolutely right to say if they'd have equalised Brighton, Reece James would be looking at himself thinking, what were you doing? Chelsea were comfortable. We knew that Brighton would come out in the second half and go strong. They saw that. They got the second goal. And we knew they'd come again towards the end, but stay with 11 men. I'll tell you what, there's a decision there where penalty, I thought it was, Malagusto gave away, but it wasn't given. Brighton will perhaps feel a little bit aggrieved with that. I do think Chelsea were the better side over the whole 90 minutes, but Brighton gave it all they got. The fans here were superb, the atmosphere incredible. Chelsea have come away with 3 very hard-earned points. 3 big points if they are to play in Europe next season.
Does that incident with Reece James, though, sort of sum up what Pochettino has been battling all season? Chelsea with the youngest average starting 11 in the whole of the Premier League, despite the fact that Thiago Silva is about 78. And then Reece James comes off the bench, their most experienced player, or one of them anyway, and he gets himself a needless red card.
Well, he's your club captain. And yes, he would be frustrated with how the season's gone. He'd be even more frustrated now if it ends up being a 3-match ban and carrying over to the start of next season. My goodness me, absolutely it was Beckham-esque, as you rightly sort of made a comparison to it. He was fouled in the first place, just go down, that petulant kick out. He's better than that, and it nearly cost his side.
What we are seeing away to our right is a real show of unity between those Chelsea fans who travelled in their droves down to Sussex and the players. It just gives you the impression that after a difficult season, one that will end in Europe now, They are building something, Chelsea.
No, absolutely. It's been a really tough couple of years. The owners have gone down the route which on paper seemed very clever. On grass it wasn't. You know, at a club where for almost 20 years it was all about the here and now, ready-made, senior pros, world-class internationals. No, they're going down a different route. They just needed to tweak it, not completely to revamp it and overhaul. I understand the idea, but football doesn't really work like that. And last season was just terrible. I felt for Graham Potter, and I felt for Frank Lampard as well. At the start of this season, I felt for Mauricio Pochettino, and I wondered whether he could turn it around. And it was only just the last couple of weeks, last week I think, where he was still saying, I'm not really getting any backing here, publicly and clearly not privately, otherwise he wouldn't come out and said what he said. But the last few results now in terms of performance and also score lines, well, they'd be mad to get rid of Pochettino.
Thiago Silva just showing his affection with those Chelsea fans behind the goal. It's time now for us to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes. So if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
And judging by the big intake of breath that Scott Minto has just taken, not an easy decision.
It's a really difficult decision. You know, even though they lost, there was some good individual performance in Brighton. I think you have to give it someone defensively from Chelsea, because I think that was the reason why they won this game in the end, is between Chalobah and Malo Gusto. But I really like Gusto, the way he's come in and kind of owned that right back spot. I'm going to give it to him.
There you go, Malo Gusto, our man of the match from today's game with